I'm cool and you are cringe.
Only one cringe here is you, cringe boy.
No, I don't think so. Hello, Chatfish, and welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be doing an Ask Kibbs Anything, or also known as a AKA. You can ask me stuff, and I'll answer it. And you don't have to donate gobs of money, because this is more of a stream so that I can actually fucking respond to people who don't have free spending money to ask me shit. That way everybody gets included. Wow!
That being said, Harlot wants to donate two pounds. Question: what are you wearing, Kibbs? And also 2 membership.
Exercise shorts and one of my dad's old shirts that says something about like, I'm a veteran, I'm badass, except I'm not a veteran. I'm badass, but not a veteran. So yes, because chat unlocked this picture because of last week's success, I can now start sharing this picture. This is a work in progress of the box art for our game. This is Like and Fish. Every artist will be getting an opportunity to actually produce a different box art cover. It's a fun little exercise in the team to help break up things, and as well as just design the box art cover for the one-day physical copy of our game. One day. So we have a question from Little Prav, and Prav asks, when's the lore video going to be ready? Well, hopefully soon. I can't really comment any further than that because our little editor is busy. Remember, our editor is also a modeler. She wants to smash out the model before the video, so expect to see the model soon, by the way. So that's going to be the first thing we'll see. And then we'll see the video after that at some point. So yeah, we're actually working on we're working on a new story panel. We're working on a 3rd lore video actually right now. Technically, we have the 2nd one kind of ready, but I've started work on the 3rd one. The 3rd one's for a different series. I'm experimenting, so while I'm ahead of everyone else, I can work on some things. Yeah. The next video is less of a lore video, it's more of a story video. Characters are talking. If you're familiar with like webcomic style storytelling, that's what we're going to be doing. Because I want to actually shift away from lore videos and go to more storytelling with characters. These are going to take a little bit more to produce, but we're basically trying to find a compromise. We're not going too heavy on the art, but just a little bit on the art, so yeah. Because there's a lot of panels. There's already 12 panels for this one, but it's more simple. Between a character named Everine and Far, which we'll show off later. That's all I can say on that note. Jessica, what the fuck? Questions? Oh! Gibbs, why am I gay? Well, fortunately, I'm not gay. I'm heterosexual. And I have to state that because I actually get hit on sometimes by actual people who are gay, or get people who stalk me who are gay, or get people think that I have feelings for them when I don't. This has happened multiple times, and I have to specifically state that no, I'm not. Because otherwise I'll actually break someone's heart again. Because I've done that so many goddamn times. I shouldn't laugh, but it's like, I don't know how people come under this presumption. It's happened so many times that, like, you can ask Reggie, it's just, it's baffling, isn't it?
It's strangely common, despite the
like,
fact we say it quite often. No, you're not actually gay, we just make fun of you.
Yeah, so, like, people joke, right? But, like, I have to be very specific, no, I'm not. And I need to not joke anymore because, like, genuinely, like, this has happened multiple times. I've been stalked a few times, and, like, it's getting to the point where it's like, it's almost getting to the point where it stopped being creepy and now it's funny again. So yeah, so, it's funny again. It just doesn't stop happening. Fucking A. But I have to state this explicitly. I don't date my audience members. I don't know why people think I do. That's just not a thing I do. It's not a thing. 90% of what I say is for joke and for play with Chatfishies, and not the gay play. Shadow Fox donates 20 euros, very generous, and says, which is heavier, a pound of steel or a pound of bucketfish? That's a good question. Depends on the bucketfish in question. Some Chatfish are a bit more dense than others. I don't know why, but I saw the Hugo Fugi's emoji for a pufferfish as I read that, and the pufferfish emote looks like a Chatfish from the side. Just two. I don't know why, but like, I never used to be that crazy about like fish, but like as the bucketfish meme is taken on, I find fish more endearing, and I end up watching fish videos of people like playing with fish and stuff and like treating fish like dogs. Bucky sent me one this morning where it's like, come here, and then the fish swims up to him and like, picks him up out of the water and is like, oh my god, I can't breathe no more. Oh my god, I can't.
I was betrayed.
Fish are a bit retarded. But they're kind of amazing. They're my favorite animals now. I've realized I liked underwater things for a while, even though underwater stuff scares me. And Hugafugi donates yeah. So yeah, it depends on the chatfish. On average, I would say steel is heavier than a bucketfish, but some chatfish are denser than stars, so you know.
No, give a pound of steel or a pound of bucketfish.
The entire Milky Way galaxy is actually orbiting a little bucketfish.
They both weigh a pound, Gibbs.
And the greater cosmos and universe is actually all galaxies are orbiting an even greater chatfish than that.
They both weigh a pound, Gibbs.
I know.
So which one's heavier?
That's how dense they are.
Well, they both weigh a
Really,
pound.
you don't get it. See, I get it because I'm making a joke about how chatfish defy physics here.
Okay.
Squealy's just like, they both weigh a pound. That's
That'd be the other
obvious.
side of the joke where you just say, but they both weigh a pound.
They're both fucking chatfish are interdimensional beings of great power. Shout out to Flo, says Hugo Fugi. Florial. Read Lord Draconis novel. #read Gibbs. That's up to hands to read, not to me, because everyone reads their own.
Again, no. You have to fund us reading it to begin with.
Yes.
Same price as always.
Okay, so the big thing, Florial, is you have to hash out a deal with hands. Because this is Hands that you need to talk to. So DM Hands right now and ask him. Because that's the person we need to convince. Now, Kainu Akuma says, now I am heartbroken. I was so in love with you. Oh, well, no. Better to crush that now than later, when it's creepier. Captain, no, you're joking. Edward, how do I become a busty cackerel? Well, lose a bet. Lose several bets. And then you'll be where I am. Just, quite frankly, lose, but lose upwards. And there you go. General question, what development choices made were a mistake looking back? Oh my god. There are so many. Honestly, well, let's just pick the biggest one. You can ask, that way I'm answering multiple people's questions and not just one person at a time. But the biggest mistake I've ever made, I think, was not, that's tricky. Because there are many. No, they're one, but there are many. There are many. Like, I don't know. I think part of the mistake is I wish I had started investing in the project sooner than when I did, even though I did relatively early on. But once I had a job, if I could go back, I would have started doing it sooner. But honestly, at the same time, that would have been bad because I don't have a stable income. So, I think my biggest mistake is honestly being too trusting, and just in general. That was my biggest mistake when initially starting my indie development career. Trust, I think. Trusting people and believing in other people and believing in other indies and believing in people in general. When not really realizing that everybody kind of wants to use you. Because that's kind of what happened to me, but I was able to just get out of that because I just left. And again, if it happens to you, you can just leave. Don't fucking stick around. But I think realizing that a lot of other people wanted to use me to climb and use me to basically propel themselves forward. And that happened early on, and that happened quite a bit. And every time I said no, like immediately, they would attack me. And so I think the biggest thing was realizing that I'm alone when it comes to what I'm doing externally. Like, I have my team, right? And I've got you guys, but there are no other indies as far as I'm concerned. There are no other YouTubers because trusting them was a mistake. And now realizing that, I think I've learned that you shouldn't trust people. Well, yeah, you shouldn't trust people on the internet. My naivety is honestly, I think, the biggest waste of time that I've done to myself. Because I wasted time helping other people, and all those other people never helped me in return. They just used me. And so that's my own fault. But that's my biggest mistake I think I've ever done. And that has affected the studio way back when. Shadowfox joins €5 and says, "What you have viewings for us, Gibbs? I don't know if I can return the same." I don't. You goofy little.
I think you also missed Rapier's donation of $5.
Oh yep. I'm trying to also read regular ones too.
I know, just like all donations of those. Get those out of the way. Why is Celeste called Celeste and not something like Bob instead?
Celeste means oh god. You know what? Let me just open up the documents. I can't remember the exact translation anymore.
Had to go and bring up the action.
It's
the meaning of names.
Yeah, so each name bears a meaning and significance. Now her name is, I think, like with mini names in our settings, they are names of people, but they don't reflect who they are entirely, if that makes sense. People are often given names in real life, and our names are just names that our parents gave us. We don't really walk into them, like Smith, you know. Hereditary titles are not really a thing like they used to be, but in some cases they are. And then her particular case, her name is odd, even in their language, because the Taliortas tongue, it's like something it's dumb. She has a dumb name. I'm sorry. She's like, no. But unfortunate. Let's see. It's not a common name. In fact, I think it's never been used as a name. It's like a title, which is goofy. Where is it? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That spells builders for you and me. Language. Translation doc sheet. Let's see. Control F. I hope I wrote it in here. I know it's somewhere. Ah. Celeste, fortunately, in the builder tongue. Okay, so Pomer is soul. And what's her last name? Fleury. What does Fleury mean? Ah, okay. Her full name is actually Star Inheritress. It is as goofy as it sounds. Her name is literally a title. And a position.
You are the inheritor of the star.
Yeah, she's called the Star Inheritress, and it's a very goofy name, mostly because it's a title. And so she doesn't really have a name beyond her title name, if that makes sense. But that has to do with the fact that the builders are a meritocracy, and how they view merit or position, especially of someone of her standing, is that she is born of the title. She is born of the position. She represents something created for that role. That is her role in their society. Or that was their believed role, as dictated by the first ones long ago. But yeah. So she's got a goofy name, not like Lyfa or Rona or anything like that. Or like Far or Everine. Who have a little bit more normal names, usually that they mean like, you know, great strength, or might be an ancient word for like, you know, like Talo meaning strong, or strength in, what's the word, the older speech. Shadowfox joins €5 and says, wow, oh, I read that. Good. Okay, let's see. General question, what development, okay, we read that one, because that wasn't, I'm trying to answer everybody, or at least everyone at least once. I can only assume that the reason you're still tickling with Air VTuber model is because you love the male juvenile attention. Gay groomer confirmed. No, I don't. But I do understand that Chatfish actually liked the model. I mean, you guys do, right? You guys fund it. What am I asking? I don't need to ask that question. Your wallet spoke every time you guys buy a different version of this thing. Hence why the fucking 4.0 model's in production. Hold on. He's at the bottom, isn't he? I'm working my way down. I have a slow mode on.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to go through everybody so everyone gets a chance. How to feel with collabing with other content creators? Annoyed or excited? Asked Jeff Steenstein. How do I feel about collaborating with them? Originally excited. Now I do not want to interact with them. Mostly because I had a lot of bad experiences. So it does not mean that this is always the case. It's just because I got unlucky. At least that's what I'm hoping. Often, content creators want to use you. They don't see you as a person. They see something to be gained. Like if you're smaller, you can be manipulated into doing free work for them. Or if you're bigger, you can be used as a ladder to climb. And because there's no sense of actual camaraderie amongst these people, and especially because there are some, but like the only content creators that I'm quote-unquote friends with aren't content creators. They did it as a hobby and they stopped. And that mostly because it's like they never used me, they never threw me under the bus, they never fucking backstabbed me. When I needed help, they actually came and helped me. And so I don't consider them the same. Because when I fall in hard times, I think there was only 2 people that helped me specifically. Not a single other soul, mind you. The 2 people, and I'll name them because I do appreciate that. The 2 people that helped me when I fell in hard times and I was in trouble, that actually went out of the way to do something rather than nothing, when I lost our YouTube channel temporarily because of a dumb meme thing, because we got censored. Yeah. The 2 people is Disco and Razorfist. And I deeply respect both of them for that. But one of them is kind of a content creator, but I don't really interact with beyond that. But the fact that they actually went out of the way to help when they didn't have to, and people I thought that were my friends didn't help, like, that made a big difference. That was something that, like, kind of eye-opener for me on how I felt about it. I don't know. It made me realize there are good people out there, but it made me realize that, you know, the people I thought that, you know, would be helpful or friendly or try to help you if you fell in hard times, just dropped you like a rock. Yeah. Suncluster asks, did you guys develop an entire language and accent for your world? Yes, several. Several in development languages. There is the Nafir language, there is the Astrian tongue, then there is the old Astrian tongue for the spellcasting. That's a lot more underdeveloped. And then there is the Builder tongue. Those are the 4 languages that have been currently developed. Preliminary work has started on several others, but I only develop languages when I need to make words for them. Otherwise, I'd be wasting too much time. When offered the opportunity to just like fucking like, that's a waste of my time, I realized I really like doing it. And I realized that I'm kind of autistic. And I was kind of forcing myself to not do it. And then when I started doing it, it really felt good, if that makes sense. Like, it felt natural. Like, I should have done this from the start. I only stopped because so many other writers always told me, like, no, you shouldn't do this. No, you don't do that. Don't world build. Don't fucking, like, you know, spend time developing languages or culture beyond certain levels. And I was like, oh my God, it has to be gotten out right away. But that was another mistake I made early on, is that this is my passion project. And you guys are funding my passion project. And that means I can, with your support, I can develop it fully the way I want to. And so, why shouldn't I? Hence why the songs themselves are actually sung in the tongue. We have a very wonderful singer named Cass, and she's done an excellent job with the songs we've given her. Hopefully we'll give her some more, but right now there's no songs that need to be worked on at the moment, so we're not really focusing too much on that. Mostly focusing on game and world building stuff, though. She's gonna have a lot more work coming her way, though. I'll tell you that much. Kip 2022. I'll never make a language for my setting. It takes too much time and resources. Yes. And again, this is I think it's been always a learning process. That the more I work on it, the more autistic we get with it, the more I love our setting. And like, what was the other day? I was researching, like, yeah, I told you guys, like, I was on this coin tangent about coinage and coin history. Because I basically started preliminary research on coins for a currency thing. This was inspired by another friend of ours and project person who works on a project named Bond, because she's working on the lore video. And she's like, well, we could use some Astrian coins. I'm like, oh yeah, these got to be designed. I've got an idea for them. But it's now time to design them. It's like, okay, I'm going to give you some things. Here's like the stamp on the front is going to have the emperor of the time or empress's time. Whoever's the head of the Valan dynasty will be at the head of that. And the back will usually bear a religious emblem. Either it'll be the wayward birds of Celestios, or it'll be some icon of Celestios, or the prophet of Celestios. So something, because it bears a great deal of significance to the Astrian Empire. And then the actual language and the font we used for the Astrian language is going to be written along the edges. But then upon researching, I realized that, you know, okay, we need to research like coins, like fraud. And I could do this research and be like, okay, how can this help our game? Well, in the video game, it doesn't really help too much, besides the iconography and what it looks like, right? But it will help the pen and paper. And I know Robin's working on the pen and paper stuff, so I'm like, okay, so I'm going to do a full-blown research on the coinage of Astrian coins, and I was able to determine that by this point, by the game start of 1022 AE, and technically before, by 800 AE, they had already, and at that point, long already had been doing milling. Milling is a technique to prevent like coins from being clipped as much because you can see the ridges on the coins. If they're damaged, then they can be reported to authorities, and then usually the merchant in question reporting it will have the person that gave them the coins be investigated, and it's very obvious if they have shears or rubbings or some sort of gathering of metal. Often those are the clippers. And stuff like that. So yeah, different types of fabrication methods, or what do you call fraud methods. That stuff should be researched because it's great material for the pen and paper. Any sort of flavor world building stuff adds a great deal of lore. Who discovered this technique? Who invented this process? Why was this process invented? You know, it's like windmills being invented in our timeline. It was a specific thing that led to them. Or collars, right? Why did the builders not wear collars on their clothing? Well, collars had a very distinct part of our history, clothing-wise. And so fashion history plays a great deal in determining things, because people of high merit will wear clothing of ornate value to determine their order or their placement in the meritocracy. When you have a society that has no currency because they've reached a point in which they're so advanced, so powerful, so capable that anybody can basically have anything, what is the new currency? Well, it's not going to be physical money or tender, but currency is always a form of something to basically determine the social strata. And that was basically the realization that the next evolutionary step for mankind would be the social strata and its currency. And what that means is merit. Your achievements, your success, your word is your currency. And so who you are, what you have done, what you have achieved determines your place and social status. And the higher you climb that ladder, the more power you amass. Currency is innately a human factor. It's just, how does that change, right? How does that move as time moves on? Yes, very fascinating. Designing the Meritocracy Society was, I think, probably the most refreshing experience, because most of our societies on the terrestrial stuff is always barter, or usually precious metals as tender. Nothing super exciting, but, you know, they're fun economic things to work with, because they definitely shape the culture that they're developed in. I'm just thinking about it. Now I'm wanting to work on it. But let's not think about that too much. I know you've talked a little bit about the undead for your setting before. Is there any more you can share with us? Asked Green Branch. As far as the undead in our setting goes, it's not quite the same. So the laws of the universe are very specific, right? So there's no time travel in our setting, because time travel, in my opinion, the reason why they made that decision was because I think it's lame. I think it's a cop-out when you can be like, I can time travel and save people. No, he's dead. You fucked up. Live with the consequences, asshole. I love that.
You want to live with the consequences.
When something dies, when something perishes, you have to live with it, and you need to move on. We can't use characters as crutches. They can't just come back. Then they're dead forever. And so that's when we wrote the lore and the lore of the ether, and wrote the laws, and the laws that govern spirits and souls, right? If somebody dies, their spirit's connection is severed to their body or their soul, right? And when their soul is severed, that connection, even if the soul is rebound with that body, that is horrific. What happens is that soul is forever warped and twisted, just like the body is warped and twisted, and its flesh and bones are torn asunder. And what that does is it destroys the soul and the body, and just leaves in its place a monster of pain and anger. And so you can't bring back the dead, right? So how does undead stuff work? Well, technically the dead work very differently in our setting based on the cultures, and each civilization has a unique ritual for it, right? The Astrians detest the idea of burials or bodies, because they believe that it's the trappings of the spirit in the flesh. And so to help the spirit break free of this binding component is the cremation of the body, which is a sacred ritual. And this cremation sets the spirit free from all of its physical connections to the world, so that it may go to the ether, may go to the domain of the gods. And other societies have different things, like the Krunto, which is a bestial race. They view the dead as caretakers and watchers for the living, and so they build great death spires built up high into the sky. And these spires are used as basically defensive mechanisms that activate when invasions or invaders come for them, because the idea is that the dead will protect their children. The grandfather will look after their offspring, sort of thing. And so societies have drastically different visions, but it's not necessarily that the spirits are necessarily like, oh, he's back and there's Grandpappy. It's not quite that. It's more like the essence, if you will. But yeah, that's how undead works, usually through puppeting as well. But puppeting something that doesn't have muscle tissue is not the most effective. Now, technically, you could puppet like a pile of sticks and make it look like a person, but that would be completely pointless, more or less. It'd be like puppeting a Skelebro. Skeletons are cute, but their bones are brittle, and they're very weak and frail. You just don't have their strength anymore.
Technically, it varies, because after a while, bone turns to rock material.
If it falsifies, yes.
Yeah.
Or fossilize. Fossilizes? Fossilization. Or fossilication. I forget the technical word.
When it comes to skeletons, I always
But
thought
at
it was
that point, it's not the same. Because bone armor on the Nefir is that way too. Because the Nefir use basically like a cotton style of padding with leather usually. Because they don't have a great access to ores and metals, while they do still use stuff they use often captured equipment. More predominantly, or force smiths to make them things, but they're slowly culturally adapting metalworking, but they're a little bit behind, right? And so what they actually use is this sort of, I forget the technical term, but it's where you sort of tie together like sheets of little bone. And basically this creates a sort of bone padding. And that's the exterior armor to help with glancing and deflecting of like physical force. But the problem with bone armor is that it's brittle. It will break the impact, but it will also break after the impact, meaning that it's kind of a single use in that area, depending on the weapon that's striking it, of course. This is all our autism when it comes to the armor shit, but this is also a great deal thanks to the fact that we have a bunch of HEMA guys on the team, which has helped quite a bit. Very much so. No, Green Branch. They never helped. It's just me. Just me and my boys. Carlos, Robin, all the boys on the team. And the girls. We can't forget the girls on the team too, I suppose.
Good.
No, I'm joking. Jellybean's been a member for 27 months. Thank you for the long-term support. You could have asked us. We would have told you, Kibbs, you're all kinds of autistic. I don't need to ask you that. All right, so that's somebody's fetish. Don't need to read that. Space Monkey donates $5 and says, is the language using English structure or Aurebesh in Star Wars? Or like Aurebesh in Star Wars? It varies depending on the language in question. I believe Astrian is... I'm trying to remember. I think Astrian is similar to English in structure. Uritos is not so much... Older Astrian is not so much. It's sort of like an evolutionary thing. Not quite, I guess. But there is similarities. Some words carry certain meanings and the context of which might shape, depending on how they're spoken. So that's similar, I guess, when it comes to Astrian. But there's only a few select words that are like that, where they have multiple contexts or different meanings, depend on the context of when they're said, right? It could be the difference between, you insulting somebody or just merely having a casual conversation. Context is key, and it matters greatly.
You try asking a guy how his day was, and instead he calls his mother a bitch.
There are some words that are kind of like that. Not necessarily like your mother's a bitch, but yeah, where it's like, it's out of context, it's like, that's fucking rude. Like, holy shit. I know it's a very muddy topic, but how do you feel about the current political climate in game development? That's okay. This is a topic that's related to game development, and I specifically stick to this field. When devs put more of their personal feelings towards the games they create. Political climate in games development. When devs put more of their personal feelings towards the games they create. Okay, I assume you're implying that, how do I feel about when developers put like their personal political beliefs in a game, right? Well, I think that's disgusting. I also think that's incredibly low effort. When I write a society or a culture, I'd never write them as a villain in their own eyes, right? So the Astrians perceive themselves as the enlightened, the chosen, right? The Nefir view themselves as merely carrying out what should be rightfully their land, because of a thing that happened a long time ago, a couple hundred years ago. At least they believe that happened. Whether it did or didn't doesn't matter anymore, right? Blood has been spilt. everyone views themselves in a justified lens of some sort, and not to write in a way that's war is bad or war is evil, rather war is natural, is how I write. War is merely human nature, and by writing it this way creates a more natural vibe. It's not anti-war, it's not pro-war, it's just natural. Some wars should happen. Some wars are unjust. This is the nature of the world. It's not so simple as to say everything is this or everything is that. And that's how I generally like to write, because it adds more variety and more flavor, right? It's why when it comes to certain settings like the good faction versus the bad faction, right? I've never really written that the good faction or bad faction. There are factions that would be viewed by the Astrians as morally disgusting, right? The Astrians hold a lot of Western values in general. And so we see through their lens because it's an easy lens to see through. But there are definitely interesting cultures beyond them that have different perspectives altogether. And none of them are wrong. Not a single one. It's just a matter of whose perspective are we seeing this lens through. That's what matters. That's what always has mattered. That's my personal feelings on the matter. Look, my feelings. Just a wow, feelings. DCI Leo Dan says, did you consult with professionals like linguists when creating your own language, or did you do your own research into the topic? My own research. I don't really usually like consulting with other people outside of the team, though I am open to reaching out to people if I need to. But, yeah, it's really just a question of whether or not to do that or whether or not to, really. I don't. This boils down to the fact that the last time somebody asked me this, they were concerned about the fact that I was writing female characters and I myself am not female. And like, who are you consulting to write these female characters? Because you should have to consult a girl or a woman when you're writing females. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to. I'm going to write characters as people. And if you got a problem with that, I don't care. I don't need your support. I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyways. And they got very upset about that. And that was also during the early days of like the woke culture, I guess. But I just don't care. I'm going to write the lore for my setting. It's my setting. I built it with my two hands. And the team members I have with me helped me build it. And I respect them and I respect their opinions. And I will talk with them. And I will hear them out. Because some of them have added new things to the setting. Hell, Carlos helped redefine a few things and expand on things that really needed to be. And even the introduction of Lycanfish is basically raise new questions that need to be answered. New conversations to be had. But if you're not on the team, you don't matter. And also the thing is like when it comes to that, right? The only feedback that really matters is like, okay, the player base. Who's our actual fan base? Well, the people who support us, right? And if somebody supports us, but they're like, you know, oh, you're not like adhering to like, you're not talking to women about this, or you need to talk about like, because that was the big thing. I remember because I got in a very long discussion. I was just explaining it honestly, but he wouldn't let it go. And I'm like, I'm not going to change my opinion. Like, I'm going to write this story, and I don't need to have a board of people basically tell me what I can and can't write. And if it offends you, I don't care. Don't read it. Don't give me money if you don't like it. You don't have to. I'm grateful for the money and finances that Chatfish help with. But at no point have you ever owed me anything. I owe you guys everything. That's how this has always been. And so that's how I feel about it. So that kind of answers that. That's kind of why I've never really wanted to... What's the word? Worry about that really too much. Now, when it comes to actual professionals and experts, right? Yes, I do research, quite a bit of research. But if I can do it, I will research it myself. Usually this involves me sitting here, listening to literally the soundtrack probably, because it's the most calming thing that we have, this vibing thing that Robert put together, and me just reading. And I read, and I got my little laptop on my bed, and I read on my laptop until I fall asleep sometimes. And that's just what I do. I'm just reading. Sometimes I'll watch a video on it if there's somebody walking through it, like the HEMA Arts guys when we're talking about the animations for our game. And it's like, yeah, okay, let's take a look at how like this works so we can make it as close to it as possible. It's not going to be, what's the word, picture perfect. I do want it to be flashy and cool, But I do want it to be sensible. I don't want it to be goofy. Like a ballerina dance or something goofy like that, you know? Because that just becomes comical to me. And that's just how I feel about that. Oh no! I lost my place. I'm gonna scroll back up. Alright. Have you ever watched The Eagle with Channing Tatum? Nope. I answered that one. The ancient Greeks had something similar to this. A helmet using ivory in a fashion was discovered a while back. Yep. Bone armor is nothing out of the ordinary. Remember, if it was tough or sturdy, and it could, you know, take a punch or a blow, humans probably wore it, and then probably hit each other with it too. Usually the rule of thumb when it comes to humans. Now I just gotta keep scrolling down towards the next question. Kid may write women for... Oh wow, Jeff on that. Hope you teabagged him. Lol. When do you fix avatar mouth? The mouth is working. It's just that I'm always looking down because the camera is above me. I'll talk to Bon about that for the 4.0. I don't want to distract her. She's already got a lot on her plate. Okay, chat? We'll be patient. Patience. She's got to get the 4.0 model done, which is the new model. And then once she gets that done, she wants to work more on the video in that order. I think that was what I got out of last time I talked to her. So we're going to do it in that order. And then we'll address it when we get to there. Yep, stop being based and check stream elements. I will. I'm trying, Chad. I'm trying. Fading fast, only $30 saying no questions. Just chilling for #UltraKill. Also known as Big Murder. Also known as Giga Genocide. Also known as Massive Massacre. And so on. Well, it's not technically a fund for it, but go ahead and write it down as if it was. Because even if it's not done, I do take requests when I have spare time. I just need to keep playing through Chatfish requests. Artists are busting their butts right now for you guys. So we're catching up fast. We got some thumbnails that have been long overdue, soon to be popping out of the oven. Let's see. Steven gives some membership. Thank you for the gift of membership. Very generous. Can I get that as an IOU, Kibbs? No. He's like, wait. I know what that's the response to. Kibbs sitting on his cheeks reading. Wow, weirdos. What was the best game system, and why was it the 360 and really the PC? I mean, honestly, my favorite console, the console I had the most fun of with, in general, is the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 is my favorite. The most mysterious console to me was the Xbox original because it was so mysterious and adult and mature. It just had this vibe about it that felt taboo. It was like, ooh, is it superpower? And then, like, the PS2 was, like, the most common. That was, like, the most thing I had games for. And the GameCube was solid. Honestly, I like a lot of them. It's honestly after 7th generation, where Xbox, PS3, and Wii/Wii U stopped, is where all of them just sucked kind of afterwards. The only thing that's kind of okay is the Switch, but it's not necessarily the console that makes it okay. It's just that it has some exclusives on it that I like Pikmin 3 or some shit. Like, it's like, oh, I like that, but I would prefer it to be on PC, to be brutally honest. And that's kind of how I feel. Chumba says, yes, don't distract Bon. I'm trying to teach her terrestrial war. Bucky is bad enough. Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I saw you guys in the dev servers. I figured that's what you were doing. Can you believe it, chat? A woman, the second woman on the team, is now having to learn our tabletop war game. Yes, I did mandate it as mandatory. And I think Chumba agreed as well, that everyone on the team has to play our products and consume all products we produce. It's mandatory. If you're going to work on our projects, you have to know what it is we're producing. And I'm glad they both took it in stride. I think Sho was the most confused, but I think Chumba can speak for that mostly.
Well, she's just a little Shoblin Goblin. She doesn't know, you know.
The thing is, if you want to work on a project and you get on the team, like, you have to participate. There's no I don't want to play this. And I know some people drag their heels because they don't like tabletop war games. Doesn't matter. If you're going to work on this, you're going to have to, so you can understand what the tabletop people are saying when they're asking for things. You have to understand their lens. We exist because they donate. No excuses. I have always been interested in how people write the underground society. How does the darker parts of your world work? Well, that'd be incredibly massive spoilers if I told you. But when it comes to the fundamentals of writing a darker society or secret societies or societies that exist alongside of society, like let's say the Celestial Order, right? A religious society next to the Astral Empire, or the paganistic older order, the old Celestial Order that believes themselves as the originals, these particular groups have their own hierarchical structure and usually their own codes or conduct, right? So the Celestial Order itself uses the old Astrian language before Common. And the reason why they use it is because it's harder for other people to understand because it was sort of lost to time. And so it's a way to filter out information, right? It's why Latin was also so secretive in our world. When it comes to secret societies and how they exist, usually the construction of them is highly dependent on their purpose, right? Are we creating a Deus Ex style Illuminati faction, or like a secret corporation, or what is this like goal? Every faction, be it a noble house, be it a company, be it a whatever, has a goal. Every character has a goal, and they want to achieve their goals, right? Like no, that's spoilers. I can't say that. Basically, just imagine most characters in history, right? As just you would if there was a fictitious story, right? Bismarck had a goal in mind, and the unification of Germany was one of his main goals. The creation of a stable German nation for the German people, so they wouldn't be picked apart like Polish-Lithuania was, because they got Austria to the south, they got Russia to the east, they got France to the west, and Britain to the north in the sea, right? And so it's like, okay, well, how do we carve out this nation? And there was war, and there was conflict, and they were willing to do sacrifices to do that. They were willing to spill blood to achieve that dream, right? A storm of steel, Chatfish. Whoa, book reference. Stupid YouTube chat. It just scrolls past everything.
There's so much there.
If I missed anything, by the way, go ahead and just write it again. I will read it. I'm scrolling down this list, trying to make sure I get back to everybody. Let's see. There we go. Grumprat says the portability is really nice with the Switch. Guppies really like it. Yes, the Switch, I think, as a modern console, is a great console, and is honestly where consoles should go. Consoles should basically become portability systems for entertainment and media. That is the realization, and technically your phone will become that too. It should be a TV. It should be like an entertainment station. It should be everything, and you should have that access and that power at your fingertips, because this is the information age, and this is where things are going. Soon you'll have everything at your fingertips. You already do. The world is at your fingertips. What they predicted in the 50s and 40s, that you'd have a little box that could give you access to everything, the world's greatest libraries, already exists. We have it now. And hopefully we continue to refine and polish this technology and advance the glory of mankind. Space Monkey donates $5 and says, I meant to say, is the syntax used like English or Japanese, etc.? Could I use an English sentence and just use the Astrian alphabet? No. Their words are different entirely, and they also carry different meaning. So you could use the English alphabet, because I think the Astrian language has relatively the same characters as ours, but when it comes to it, because again the human mouth only produces so many sounds, right, and vowels and things, so technically you could translate a lot of these things, but it would be not possible to just write an Astrian, like type in the using their lettering. That would not mean the. That would mean nothing. That would mean nothing in their language. THE means nothing as far as I remember. I don't think there is anything that says the or translates to the word the. Yeah, no, there isn't. There are some words in their language that are similar. A couple of the words are actually similar to Hungarian words. But I think that comes down to the fact that some words are just going to end up being the same, and I don't give a shit beyond that. Like, if they are. Like I told the team, because I know my team is, they're like, but what if some of the words match other words from other languages? And like, that's their problem. Like, they shouldn't have made a language like what I'm doing. That's their mistake. When I'm working on stuff, I make it for me. If there so happens to be a word that's similar, I don't care. Let's see. It's all about the sound and the vowel. Is it a guttural language or is it not? What is the type of speaking we're talking about? Aston words are sort of smooth and buttery, and Biller words are very kind of buttery too, but a different kind of butter. Maybe it's like a margarine or something. And Nafir are very, we got lots of K's and lots of hard letters. I'd pay money to watch Show play tabletop. Maybe we'll allow it one day. Indio delivered some work. Bindio? Doing his job? Not on my watch. Good job, Indio.
I assume it's not a thumbnail.
I don't know what he's talking about when he said he delivered anything.
Did you mean anything?
I have no idea. I don't see anything. I think he just said that. Work delivered, I can eat. I think he lied to us. I don't see anything from him. Liar! Liar! Lunch at 5 p.m. All right, enjoy your lunchies. Next. Germany will be united in gut and iron, says Frederick. He's a little chatfish. Jeff Sneedstein says, when you make your game, do you think who exactly your audience is like? I want guys/boys to be the target audience for my game, or just focus on making a game? I don't really... Okay, so this is going to sound incredibly crass, but I don't care. I'm making a really cool game that I think is really fun that I've wanted to make my entire life. And it's kind of for me in a way. And you guys get to play it too, and you guys are going to get to have it. And that's kind of it. That's kind of all it is. And I think it probably is going to appeal more to boys than girls, if I had to be honest. But I don't know. I can never guess the future. But I'm a boy myself, and it appeals to me. So if you're like me, it'll appeal to you too. Green Branch asks, are you going to do all of this age time begins to end? What? Are you going to do all of this age/time begins to end? Green Branch, clarify that question. I think I understand what you're saying, but I want to make sure.
She's trying to say, are you going to do this from the beginning of the universe to the end of it?
No. We are like... Okay, so like, if you're talking about where the story of the game takes place, or the lore video stuff I'm doing, it's actually kind of really far into the story, but then again, the story is like fucking long. So
multiple galaxies long.
It's quite long. So it really just boils down to, I picked a spot that I was really interested in writing for, and I was like, this could be expanded on. And that's what I went with.
I think he picked a spot that was really balanceable.
Yeah. That was also the reason why I chose that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to lie. Galactic invasion bullshit.
We had to pick a spot in which it would fit and make sense, and it did take a lot of consideration on where to put that. There's a lot of choices on the table. What would be the best for a video game? Let's see. Sonic Nitro asks, and welcome to the stream, Bucky. Sonic Nitro asks, what are your thoughts on alien civilizations relying on laser-based weapons? Are laser or firearm guy, or like both? I mean, I think lasers are cool. I also think plasma is cool. I also think pretty much any type of firearm is cool. Any type for the most part. It's like really different flavors, yeah. Because that's what it is for me. Like in Halo, the Covenant using plasma weapons is really cool. And the humans using kinetic-based, standard munition-based weapons is also really cool. It's a nice contrast. And then when you get Star Wars with the fucking plasma vomit, that's also kind of cool in its own right. Or Battletech with its goofy laser beams.
I think it's really funny when a hyper-advanced alien race can't fight off an entity that requires ballistic weapons to fight off.
At least they did explain why the Covenant was so dogmatic in its culture. So, yeah, it did reach its technology, but it was also kind of plateaued in terms of its slow progression. Well, yeah, so mankind could catch up.
Everything. They borrowed everything. That's the whole point there. Technology.
They didn't have a society that could build new things.
So, in reference, I'm talking about the fucking Asgard having to fight the replicators.
Oh, yes. They had to borrow human kinetic weapons because, yeah, their weapons actually just made the replicators stronger.
They had no effect on the replicators whatsoever.
That's why the ghoul get massacred, because energy-based weapons are useless against replicators.
Yep. And they're just too advanced to think of something so stupid as projectile weapons.
Yep. And the projectile weapon, like, listen, that fucking, okay, so there are two things what made me fall in love with the spaz. Jurassic Park as a kid, and fucking Stargate, where O'Neill's got the fucking spaz and they're shotgunning. Yeah. Fucking replicators to pieces. That's one of my favorite shotguns, and it's not because I've never used a Spaz 12. I want to collect one day, purely just to have one.
You can get them. They're not that expensive.
I want one of those. I want a P90. I want an HK. You know the one. I can never remember the exact number, but I want the one from fucking Tremors. That's so cool.
51 or something.
Yeah. I want to collect a bunch of movies because I think they look cool. Not necessarily because they're the most effective, or, you know, the most exotic, I guess. Okay, let's see, next. This is a fun little refresh stream. Also, the only reason why we're streaming this right now, chat, is because we're going to be late. HK91, yes. That also looked kind of cool. Has a nice little body.
Yeah. Yeah, he lost the HK in the divorce.
That's a tragedy. Space Monkey donates $5. Say, also, how far into the future did you plan? I make a cassette futurism weeb, Ninja Cyborg. Quite a bit. I've followed... Okay, how do I answer this truthfully without actually, like, spoiling things? So, like, I wrote way past the point of Terrestria. Much, much further. Like, way out there. I also wrote way back. Before... Like, okay, so we have this thing we call in the studio called the pre-lore section. The pre-lore section, to explain it, is before time, and usually, even to break it down, because the reason why I call it the pre-lore and we bundled it together is because it's big, and it's mostly the older lore, but I preserved as much of it as I could, but I had to rework a lot of it, because as a kid, you know, a lot of things were too plagiaristic. I was too inspired by things, so I had to remove things, cut things out, redo them, and I had to do that a lot throughout middle school and high school, because middle school and high school is when I was like, okay, I want to do this more, but, like, my elementary writing was just fucking awful. It's so great. I'm like, I really, really, really like Halo. So I think that the Flood should be here. And I'm like, I really, really, really like this one thing from this thing. So it should be there too. And I like this. And that was the joke as to why the setting was called Mixers. Because we took it, my friend and I, my best friend, Tyler, we took a bunch of ideas that we really liked from other settings, and we just mixed them up. And then we would just walk around the elementary school, and we'd talk for hours about the setting, the story arcs, and stuff like that. And that was kind of how it began. We would walk around the school, and because after school, there's this after-school program called Kid Stop. And we would spend like 2 hours, 3 hours every day for 5 days a week doing this. We would either write in papers. We got banned from using paper because we used too
So here's
much.
a question, Gibbs. How long did it take you to realize you were just making a world based off of Super Smash Brothers?
As a kid, I knew that right away, but this was like a fun thing. It was not really about making like something serious, but there was like a desire to. Because I remember when I went to my cabin, Tyler and I had this conversation. It was like the last year, because I didn't know if we'd like see each other as much, because I was like 6th grade, because I went to a different school and he went to another one, and we maintained contact. But when we went to the cabin for like a hangout together, I remember because we were outside, we were talking at night around a campfire, and we were looking up at the stars, and we were talking about the setting, and I remember talking about like wanting to make this more serious, into something real. That was when we started to stop making it a fun sort of imaginary setting into like a thing that was cool, or something to actually make as our own.
This is my world.
Why was that the question? Or did I miss it?
Was it the question, Gibbs?
Because I don't know. I got a tangent. I'm in tangent mode.
The Spanish Troll's not that expensive. Calm down.
The stock is goofy, and I heard the stock is actually ass, but it looks cool. Let's go.
Let's see. Shopping. Spanish 12. I'm about to go to an actual gun store website.
Well, you look at that. Velazar says, how do I infect the foreign slurs? Inject foreign slurs for the people I don't like in Kibian lore. I already have that covered. I've already written racial slurs.
Oh shit, I can get this fucking next week if I really wanted to.
Well,
We have
what's
several.
the slur for calling someone short, Gibbs?
I'm
In,
saving.
Tertia.
Okay, that's actually fairly tame. But
Yes.
there is things like that.
But I'm curious, like,
If you
do you have that one
call,
written down already?
it wouldn't be necessarily short, but if you called a girl a Moloch, they probably would fucking spit, hit you, or their man would stab you.
So
I think, yeah, Moloch doesn't sound like a very good word to
It's
call
a
someone.
it's a little creature that isn't very pretty to look at.
oh, wow.
Yeah, Moloch.
So you get a Spaz 12 for like $5,000, Gibbs.
That's not. I mean, that's kind of expensive. Maybe one day when the game is done, we can start
It's a
gun
20-inch.
collecting.
The real purpose of the video game, to fund Gibbs' gun collection.
I would like to start collecting guns, but not now.
Yeah, you get the folded stock one, or you get the solid stock variant.
Expensive hobbies that I will not embark upon.
You get an M1 Garand,
That'd be cool.
1945 edition.
I don't want to accidentally do that finger thing though. The pinching looks
The
painful.
Garand thumb. Well, just
Because our family has a Garand. We also have a bunch of Japanese World War II rifles for some reason. The one
it's currently I'm seeing a bidding website, which is funny. Yeah, this is fun.
All right, let's see. Silvern asks, I take it will be a large part of the story, so I won't ask for spoilers. Remember, this is an Ask Kibbs anything. It doesn't have to be about the setting. But if you
So,
want it,
Gibbs,
it's so severe. What?
in your setting,
Ah.
do any of your known characters like end up being ageless and then carry on throughout the entirety of the setting?
No. I think almost all the characters that I've ever written die at some point of age or something.
That's boring.
Or we come up forever.
They need to be like the.
I'm not going to have the Great Green Pickle, if that's what you're asking.
What the fuck?
Kib, you need to install Thrall into Legends of Tertia right now.
What
He
the-
needs to lead. He needs to lead in the fear.
The Great Green Pickle, whenever they run out of characters, they just go get him.
He's a super shaman. Yeah.
So there's
Use all
there's
the-
a joke in the Warcraft
nefarious
lore
power.
community where the Great Green Pickle is Thrall, because whenever they need the Great Green Pickle to fix something, they just get him. They pull him out of retirement when he's literally in retirement home.
That's awful.
It is awful.
He's currently in the fucking current
Warcraft
expansion.
lore is absolutely in
He
dog
does-
shit right now.
Fucking nothing, but he's there to represent the Horde because all the other representatives.
Yeah,
suck.
he's the background pickle right now. He's like,
Which, so you know what, somewhat is better than what he usually do with it.
now let's see. Silverin says, I take it will be a large part of the story, so I won't ask for spoilers. I have small passion for how underworlds work. I do hope there will be an underground auction or quest. Oh, there'll be underground stuff. Don't you worry. Underground sex trafficking for sure. What you? Oh my god! Probably, actually. That made myself sad, but I don't want to really work on that. Remember what I always say? I forget which writer told me this. Pretty great advice. Write what you love. If you're not interested in a subject, you don't have to write it. That's why.
That's why you have so many stories about gay sex.
I think Linkara agreed with you, Gibbs. He loved talking about rape.
I mean, the thing is, if you're happy, you're happy. It's just don't be a little bitch about it.
See, Kibbs, you need an entirely immortal character that nobody likes. that goes
And then
throughout the
just
entire
keep
series.
bringing them back.
Yeah,
saves the day every time.
like Teresa from fucking Fable.
Oh my god. Honestly, I think the worst thing I've seen in media lately is just how poorly female characters are handled. They're just handled awfully. I just hate it. I just absolutely... Honestly, it makes me question the fact that I even have female characters sometimes.
Don't worry, Gibbs. We all know that Rhea, Aya, and Ezra are all just
They're all girl
for the actual,
bosses.
for all the actual characters.
Men are evil. Yeah, sure, whatever, honey. It's like, damn.
I should be the one controlling the gun.
Okay, we need to keep reading. I'm falling behind a little.
Good.
Gib, did you get ingredients for the pizza chimichanga yet? Yes, I do have it. I intend to eat it this week. I have forgotten to message you about that, Chow Chow. My apologies.
Chimichangas.
Yes, he funded me specifically to try a recipe he made. I have them in my refrigerator.
Chat, you could do the funniest thing.
Listen, these recipes need to not be terrible.
I
And I need to agree too.
And you ignored it.
The fucking pickle sauerkraut pizza was quite horrible. It was quite horrible. Like, honestly, it wasn't terrible when I was eating. I was like, okay, I can get through this because I'm kind of hungry. But, like, after I wasn't hungry, I'm like, oh, I feel like a regret. Like I felt like the Halo 2 scene. It just keeps repeating, regret. I regret eating that pizza. We're changing the lyrics. The it's a song. Grimmatch, are you doing it from the beginning to the end of this current age/time period, or are you gonna jump around? So when it comes to humanity's eras, or the eras of mankind, there are 3 ages. We are currently in the dawn of the 3rd, and our story also covers the cusp of the end of the 2nd. It covers a little bit of both. Technically, there is much more lore after that, and actually there's quite a bit. I know now that I will probably never be able to finish the work while I'm alive. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to be working my ass off forever. Bucky just outlives me. I died tomorrow. See, I'm taking over, assuming direct control. Puppet Scorps.
I'm gonna buy out Kibbs' IP for Alpha Metarum. It's gonna be funny.
This is why we don't do public. What I appreciate is that my team, the only reason why they want to work on this project is because we don't have public stocks. Which is fair, because there's a problem in the industry where a lot of companies, when they open up for that, usually get subverted. Usually that's how the subversion process happens.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, but sometimes. There are some
have to take
publishers that look decent. No!
I control most of what you do anyway.
You may control the channel, but you may sit on the council of the bunch, but you're not technically a master or something. You're not technically a We don't have a title for master, honestly, so we don't have it. Let's see. Silverin asks, I would think Alien would combine the ballistic. I would think Alien would combine the ballistic and energy. Superheated ballistics would be cool. Yeah, it could. I mean, superheated rounds, but I think the problem is the rounds would be morphable then, wouldn't they? Because the heat.
Depends if you use tungsten or something.
Yeah, true. Because I think the problem is depending on the metal of the munition type, right? It's gonna make it more malleable to being bent, which is not good. like superheated, depleted uranium rounds. That would be nasty, because theoretically that would like burn through things too. Also, chance of igniting things, be it munitions or clothing or fabric. Incendiary in a way. Tiberius asks, Rock is a man's best friend. That's not an ask. That's just a statement.
See, chat.
It's a statement.
Future mankind would make rounds that, they ignite with the air, and as they burn off, the next metal or whatever underneath it fucking detonates on whatever it hits. So it's like multi-purpose rounds.
No.
I mean, theoretically speaking, we already have that today, Squealy.
We do already have that, which is why
I know. I just want to call that fucking dumb.
Oh, now. Okay.
Oh, I remember this conversation last time. You got fucking uppity, and it was like, no, Squealy, we actually have that today. Like active ammunition, where it can switch what it does. Theoretically speaking, as time goes on, our ammunition is going to get more complicated and easier to produce. So theoretically, that should happen more often. I mean, we have grenades that do that too. Grenade launchers, where they can penetrate, then detonate on the other side of a wall, which is really cool.
Proximity fuses.
I love that. That's fucking awesome. That's why grenade launchers are so goddamn cool. But video games rarely use them in interesting ways, which kind of breaks my heart.
Ghost uses them in an amazing way. Firing fucking sticky rounds at people.
That's just mean. He sticks to them. A little bit of sadness as they wait. Patetnon is angry about the Spaz 12 being a little... Spaz 12 is cool as fuck in Project IGI. I don't know what that is. All right, I think we're starting to catch up. Good. A lot of these aren't questions, so I can scroll past these. Jeff Needstein says, because Big E is now in power, you think there will be less push for DEI leftist themes in a positive POV in games? No. That's going to take a while. That's going to take a while to die out. So what's going to have to happen is slowly, they need to slowly run out of, basically, I guess you could say momentum, right? Or money. And you're going to start seeing a general shift, but it's going to take a while. The thing is, the quote unquote woke era was always going to end because it's retarded and it was never going to last. But it's just a matter of how much longer will the fallout last. This is all really just the leftover stuff from the Cold War because of what happened to our educational system. So as this thing slowly works its way out of our system, eventually we'll be back into like a 1950s, 60s sort of like based positive, be actually like, oh, it's proud to be American, not this,
So the answer
sadness.
is, chat, in about 1 to 2 years, you'll start seeing the change because of the development cycles.
Yep. Because remember, the industry process is but generally 3-year to 2-year development cycles for AAA titles. This can vary still today. Sometimes if games are really fucking stuck in the mud, it can be like a decade. And so you might still see those randomly get released, but don't be too surprised. I mean, with things like Ubisoft hitting the fucking wall really hard, like they collapsed support for Star Wars Outlaws and for like the other
Veil Riders.
Veil Riders. That's
Veilguard.
Those names are hard. I know, it's so close.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate he chose that name. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Dreadwolf said, "Hey, this is fucking a D&D type game coming out."
And they just wanted the name.
Veil Riders. They were like, we're gonna be the Veilguard.
Yeah, we really like that name. It's really cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
Maybe. I mean, they didn't have an original bone in their body, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so I think Veilguard is a good example because it didn't even make half of the expected revenue. That was official, by the way.
Good. Fuck them. Honestly, the worse their failure, the better.
Yep.
The more damage and hopefully the implosion of those studios, the better. And I know it sucks because there will be casualties, but that's war. Some people are going to get caught in the crossfire.
Willing to make.
Yep. Some people are going to lose their jobs, but it's better that these people lose their power forever and get basically laughed out of the industry the way Peter Molyneux did, who's somehow still back. I don't even know how. I don't even know how. Either way, you did enough lore to do a Tolkien. No, not quite. I really admire Tolkien, but I will never be on his level. I respect his work a lot. But I appreciate the praise, but I do think it's important to not put me at that same pedestal. He is a legend beyond anything that I could ever hope to do in my entire life. Because what he did in fantasy was revolutionize fantasy. And it was incredible what he had done. Because modern fantasy has been unable to undo what he has done since. Often to the point where they regurgitate his ideas. Which is a bit annoying. Sometimes they do it a bit more respectful and better than others, but sometimes they just fucking do it really lazy. It's like, here's orcs again, the Tolkien version. It's like, kill me, fucking kill. But that happens from time to time. I also wait racial slurs. Well, I'm proud of you, little Stonehenge. Bucky saying it's not expensive means nothing, screams Frederick in anger. That's fair. It's all a matter of perspective. Ow, my back hurts. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Spaz Fund? No, chat. We need to actually. The 12 grand should be put towards the game if we can raise 12 grand. Fucking irresponsible. That's just for me to have a shotgun that I'll only get to take to like a shooting range or someplace to shoot once in a blue moon. That wouldn't be worth it even. Not even at this stage.
So worth it.
I do want to do like go to a shooting range and actually do shootings again because those are fun. Those are a lot of fun. I don't know if you've ever been to those. Those are really good. There was this one that they had in Minnesota for a while where they brought this captured T-34-85 that had the German markings on it because it was captured by the Germans, then captured by the United States. And I actually got to ride in the T-34-85, and that was so much fun. I'd never been in something so loud and so shaky that it made my organs feel shaking. like in my bones. Like it rattled you to even just be in the damn thing. It was so cool. But I think that was the coolest vehicle ride experience I've ever been. Because I've been in a lot of military planes and vehicles before, but that never had I ridden in a tank before. That was so cool. I'll never forget that moment. Crub Lord Spider Pig, don't you all say, can a crub eat Bucky? Can Bucky eat Crub? He could easily eat a crub. They are actually consumed quite often by people, so it's not too uncommon. Crubs could also eat people, but depending on the crub, if it's like one of the big sea-based ones, yes. But it's not the best food source because they actually prefer larger fish creatures to eat. Because getting people requires to attack a boat, and the boats fight back, and also crubs, when they bleed, their arms usually fall off when they start getting cuts on their arms or cracks in their bone or whatever the fuck, their carapace, because they can't actually coagulate the blood. They can actually bleed out from several well-placed stabs to the main body. So yeah, not the best idea. Poor little critters. Surprisingly tough and durable, but also kind of fragile when it comes down to it, especially when you actually make a big injury. Like if you were to shoot one with a matchlock to its center mass, it would die. It might not die right away, but it's not gonna cauterize, or it's not cauterize, sorry. It doesn't its blood does not coagulate, so it will just bleed out. It's not gonna be good. It can suction off like its limbs and stuff, but yeah. That's why center body is what you want to do damage to. Is your setting set before or after the Rings of Power?
That's a good question, actually. Is it kids?
I mean, technically, if the Rings of Power was a setting that got created, it would be after, right? Because it would have to be. Like, I'm playing along to be hypothetical with you, okay? It'd have to be long after. God willing, as far long after as possible. As long... 3 H's: illegal, legal, and why? Jano, no. Gregor says Terrestria should be a subplot of Rings of... You're hurting me. Jeff is enjoying that joke too much. And he says Rings of Power. You're correct, Blake. That's not a question. That's a statement. And I hate it. If you had public stocks, then all the booba would disappear, says Bino. And then Bino would disappear too.
Bino would cease to exist.
He just disintegrates it. Get Mr. Kip, I don't feel so good. Turns to dust.
My purpose gone.
Public companies are a fucking cancer. Public companies, okay, so we want to talk just briefly. Public owned companies is basically the reason why what's the word? Like certain genres are gone in gaming. RTS genre is never been a very profitable genre, for example, and the reason why it's not around anymore is because it never can sell to the same degree. That's why most RTS owned by AAAs evolved to become mobile, like Dungeon Keeper or like Command & Conquer, etc., etc. And that's just sadly a fact. It sucks. Give sell to Disney so you can hate your own creation? Never. Not so long as I live. It's a passion project. I'm never going to sell. That's just stupid. I don't have enough expensive hobbies, and I never will. Even gun collecting, I'd only collect guns that I would specifically want, and there's only a handful that I could probably count on my hands. Because most of the guns I would really like don't exist. Don't exist. Or aren't legal to own. Like, I'm pretty sure you can't own a grenade launcher. As cool as that would be.
That would be illegal.
Yeah, it'd be pretty fucking cool. Let's see. Back. Listen to question. Old tactical-ish FPS from the early 2000s. The only good Norwegian game made. Damn it. You didn't add what that was, so I lost the context. You fuck. He's like, oh. No questions. I prefer regular Tolkien-esque fantasy races than any wacky shit they make in some game settings. I get that, but I think my problem with just being Tolkien being regurgitated 1,000 times is that it's boring. Like, I'm bored of dwarves and elves and orcs I've seen them 1,000 times, and they're not particularly interesting anymore. Mostly because in most settings, they don't do anything with the idea. The reason why I want something exotic, like a new race that does something different, is because I want something new to play with. Like, if I want orcs and shit, I'm gonna either go to Lord of the Rings for the Lord of the Rings style orcs, or I'm gonna go to Warhammer for the comedy orcs, or something like that. Like, there's a couple of established settings that kind of have nailed down the good orc feels. If I want hashtag not all orcs, I'm gonna go to Warcraft. You know, no.
Very convenient. I mean,
because when Warcraft did it, was kind of fresh. It was like, wow, orcs are, you know, they're not just the evil monsters. They're actually just tribal people that got subverted culturally by fel energy and
even
basically
though
a promise.
Initially they were just tribal monsters.
They were. I mean, well, remember Warcraft originally was Warhammer, but GW tried to swindle Blizzard, and then Blizzard's like, well, fuck you, and then recalled it Warcraft, and then just fucking left them in the dust. That's called karma.
Immediately becomes more popular than Warcraft and Warhammer will ever be.
Hey kids, let's play War Thunder. You can play with the T-3457 there. Was it a T-3457? What? I thought it was the T-3485. All I know is it had the German markings on it. And that was weird. Because it was a Russian tank, but with German markings. Even the instruments were German. Let's see. Can you define wacky Baffios? Asked Gregors. That's fair. If you're talking like Avowed looking wacky, because that's what Avowed looks like, then yeah, I don't blame you. But in this specific case, we're not really talking about woke bad games. We're talking about what I would like to see. Because technically, yeah, there are wacky gay adventure settings. But they're wacky and gay and I don't want me to play them. But chat just makes us fun them anyways. Quaguate, says Sam Jackson. Yes, Quaguate. Alright, keep scrolling. Oh my god, we're almost caught up again. Chat fishies are slowing down. Good. Starting to actually catch up. Kibbs, does Terrestria have dragons or dragonestic entities? Similar, yes, but it does not have dragons, no. The closest thing is an alien, and it's more like a Chinese dragon, kinda, except it wields weapons, I guess. It's fluffy. It's a fluffy little guy. If I missed anything, just retype your questions. It's just because I missed it. It happens. Because YouTube's back-end chat, even with slow mode active for me, is just fucking hopping all over the place, which is really annoying. Well, creating plasma weaponry could be your expensive hobby. It would be, except I'm not really good with that kind of engineering stuff, and I feel like I'd blow myself up more than anything else. You can own one. You just need one of them tax stamps. Oh, one of them fancy taxi stampies. Gotcha. I'm sure those are cheap to get, and I'm sure those are easy to get. Sniper Commando says, you can own a grenade launcher. Just good luck getting any actual grenades. You can still get chalk rounds, though. Yeah, but that's not the same. There's a difference from going to, like, a fucking, like, shooting place and being able to, like, blow fucking targets up or shoot chalk on them. You know, well, I enjoyed paintball as a kid, and it's a fun sport. Preferably not speedball, woodball. Yeah, it's just one of those things like, paintball's fun. You should try it if you haven't tried. It's actually fun. Just the only annoying part is ticks. Make sure you make sure you get the ticks off. Oh, ticks! I hate them. Spunky Monkey $22 says, are there monster girls and are they breedable? No, there are not. Generally, into the monsters in our setting, you're not going to want to fuck. And if you do, you're Beano. You're Beano. Because Beano says that to every monster we have in our setting. He's like, would. And it's like, Beano, bad Beano. Beano, bad.
Like, Beano would fuck a cactus if he could.
Beano saw one of the Colossi and was like, said would. And I'm just thinking to myself when he said that, and I'm just like, that's gross.
Gross Beano.
You're grossino. But no, I don't really care for that kind of stuff too much. Monster Girls appeal to a different thing. I want a different vibe for my setting. More serious. Project IGI was the only good Norwegian game. Oh, and I've never heard of it. You can DM it to me and I'll check it out. I didn't even know Norwegians knew what games were. No kidding.
The Swedes made all their games
joke
for
at
them.
Bubbles is people's expense. So the Swedes actually make pretty goddamn good video games. At least they've got some good studios there. My setting would do something new with the ideas, without ideas, says Beano. No, it won't. You're Beano. I know exactly what your idea is going to do. It's going to do one thing in specific. Don't look at me with your little Beano face and not realize what I'm talking about. We all know Beano. We all know. Smutino. Smino. That's his, oh my god, Schmiegel. But his name is Schmino.
Schmido.
He go, Schmino. He just coughs like that. Yep.
You're terrible.
Can players eat the hearts of magical beasts to gain special powers and or mutations? No.
They can get mutations.
That's very specific. That's very specific.
Oh, it depends. They could definitely get mutations.
They can definitely get mutations, but these are not the kind of mutations you want. Usually it's going to be bad.
Think of Skaven mutations.
Ooh. Those are a bit more stable than the ones I had in mind, but fair.
No, hold up.
I wouldn't say they're very stable.
no, Skaven mutations are not fucking stable whatsoever.
Listen, my mutations I got in the campaign I played, I was actually not too bad. No.
That's because you had a DM, being nice.
That's not true at all. I know that. I know what happened to the back end. I know that most of those things were actually being upscaled just for me.
I don't know about that, Wiggles. You get the little tentacle coming out of you.
I don't remember the barrel. Blake says some stuff that isn't really related. Goddamn, Blake. I only keep family relics like my grandfather's bayonet. I think I'm caught up. Damn it, Chatfish. Okay, I want a Playboy Bunny Girl house. Okay, well, you can go get one.
So, Kibbs, this is the Ask Kibbs anything, not just terrestrial stuff, right?
Yeah, you can ask about the channel stuff too, Chat.
When are you taking a vacation?
Never. So long as I live, God willing, I will never take a vacation.
Okay.
Last time he took a couple days off, he fucking hated
I almost
it.
had a fucking aneurysm.
You mean those 2 days they forced you to take off?
I had like mini panic attacks on the
Kibbs, that was like 3 years ago.
I know. I still remember those.
Okay,
It feels
I'm
like
gonna force
yesterday.
you to take another.
No,
I'm gonna force you to take another fucking day off. Che, you don't understand. I told him he couldn't do any work related shit. So he sat there playing like fucking Hoy or something.
Getting anxiety sitting there too. That's what happens if I don't do anything. I'll just sit there. Like when I play video games, I'm not doing anything. I actually get anxiety.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm like, I must do something. I need to be streaming or doing something. You can't buy Project IGI anymore unless it's abandonware. I guarantee you. I'm pretty sure my abandonware has it. Abandonware, usually that's where it goes. When will Kibbs take a Chatfish on a date? God's willing, never. How big are your ears and leaders? I have no idea how to equate that into liters. Keeb, can illustrious Chatfish get more crub lore? I think I just gave you some. I already told you about how to kill a fucking crub. I feel like I'm spoiling you. And I didn't really make you do anything for that. I didn't make you do any embarrassing things, like do little dance wiggles for me. I think Spider-Pig has to dance next time. We have him on the Helldiver stream. He's got to dance like a monkey. For my amusement, yes. Higa asks, how has your channel growth been since becoming a proper cringe tuber? Honestly, pretty good. Our growth is actually good. Metrics wise, really bad. But that's because of the bot farm still being sweeped out. Our audience has genuinely been growing. Our general audience is growing and our general community is growing. But our channel reads as red. Because there's so many Pakistanis that they're still getting flushed out still. So yeah, that's going to be like that forever. Oh, I hate that so much. I used to be like, have things like celebration streams every time we'd reach a record, but I can't actually figure out how many subs I really have anymore. I hate that so much. You have no idea. We're definitely probably in the 10,000s, if I had to guess. We were damn near close to 10,000. We were like 8,000 or whatever, 9,000. Like we were goddamn close. We've either reached 10,000 or we're damn near at 9,000 subs.
Yeah. There's a way you can get more Kibbs.
Sell your soul to Buck.
That's weird.
You were like a buck.
No, there's not 32.6k subs. There's not 32.6k chatfish. There is like 20,000 plus little Pakistanis in your bucket, chatfish. I know. This illegal immigration problem, we're working on it. We'll start
I want
fucking
art of like a bot fish, Kips.
Not dirty water.
They'll just have the like generic Afghani attire. They're just bot fish.
It is unironically Pakistanis and Indians, specifically. Those two places. Well, it's not that YouTube fucked me over. It's that I believed that the ad thing was actually a cool system. Because I got access to it early as a YouTuber. And I was one of the few people given early access to it. And I was like, oh, cool.
It was all a trick.
I can advertise like stuff. And I'm like, I clicked on it and I'm like, oh, well, where do I want to advertise? I'm like, well, everywhere, I guess. I don't see why not. And I did that. Don't do that.
Congrats, Kips.
Now,
Technically, you gained more viewership. But
I did get new followers from doing it, though, that are actually real. Like, some people actually found us through that. But not nearly enough to justify the cost of doing that, nor enough to really justify ever doing that again. Ugh, ugh. Alright, I'm almost done. Conspiracy theory. Kib muddied the water with Bot Farm to avoid playing Amnesia Dark Descent. You know you'll scream. Yeah, that's true. That was going to be the 10k sub special. I'm glad we'll never
Kib,
know.
Hold on, Kibbs. You just said you have 10,000 now.
We might. Who knows?
No, but you just said you're confident that you...
I mean, more than
10,000
realistically,
now.
yeah, sadly. That's unfortunate.
Okay, look, we can do Dark Descent now, chat.
October.
No.
Stop talking about them. I'm gonna rule 6. Very fast screams. No, you're not. Grabs them. The Indians and Pakistans are real viewers. They come for your spicy streams. They aren't. They are not. I know that for a fact. I've got a couple of Iranian subs, and I know because I've spoken to a few and some Iraqis, and that's like my Middle Eastern audience, and I know them, and I can literally count them on my hand. It's like 4 people. It's 4 people.
That's 4 more than 0, kids.
And I haven't seen the Iranian one in a while, or Iraqi Oil Money, or the other guys who who I forget. I can't pronounce it. It's all squiggly. It's all squiggly.
Elon Musk gifts a... Oh, Elon Husk, sorry. Gifts a membership.
Lands right on Bucky. That's funny. Thank you for the gift of membership. Very generous. Have I already done a Pocket Fish giveaway this week?
How do I deny this?
No, it's the start of the week, kids.
Okay.
I would suggest doing it later in the week.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do 2 Pocket Fishes, I think, this week. I think I'm gonna give a Pocket Fish away. Whoever's active today and be well behaved, we'll see. The Pocket Fish. Iraqi Oil Money is actually from Iraq. Yes, he is. He actually is from Iraq. He recently got married. Congratulations to him. But
I thought he got married a long time ago.
oh yes, it was a long time ago. It feels like the other day. My perception
Holy
of time
shit,
is
Chris.
non-existent.
No wonder you're gonna write your fucking story until you die.
Can't remember basic details.
Do you know how many interactions I make on a day? You got any idea how many? But I never forget my chat fishies. Sometimes I lie to ones that haven't been around in a while and say I don't remember them anymore because I'm upset at them. Because I'm upset.
Maybe we'll get sad about that.
Kibbs, you're lucky you put your fucking name in your title of this video.
Why? Why am I lucky? What? How does that make any sense? What?
Because people will know your name.
They don't know my name anymore?
No, they forgot.
Oh no! Jerky, funny how memories work, eh? Yeah, funny.
Also, Kibbs, I am writing a more compelling story. I'll have that completed before your game comes out.
We'll kill you with love and compassion, though. He's a dinks. Is Dinko and Bubs and other folks still around? Tangentially.
Here last week.
Yeah, Bubbles will occasionally show up, but Disco, you'll probably never really see her that much anymore. She's got a lot of kids now. Or no, that's Tyler.
She got a lot of kids.
She has kids.
One.
You gotta take care of those now. Take care of the little guys.
Just a little guy.
Hmm. Don't expect to see them on Yub Nubs. They're still around. They're still kicking. They're not dead or anything. Thank God.
Yes. What's with the ask me anything video stream? Do you not have something to play?
Oh, I do. I just wanted to do this today because I said I was going to do one of these and I wanted to get it out of the way. Because I said I was going to do it like last month, but I never did. That's because I was coughing still and I didn't want to do it yet. But now that I'm more or less done coughing.
Now that you're done coughing, what? Keep going. Complete that sentence, Gibbs.
Listen, chat's getting all the things they paid for in time.
Yeah, like the voice ones. Yeah.
Chatfish. Who is Gibbs? I don't know. Somebody. Somewhere. Who knows? Gibbs unironically wants to deport Stans from his community. Unironically, yes.
Stans are
Unironically, yeah.
They're the worst thing you can have in your community.
If they're real people and they're chatfish, they're mine. But they're not real people. They're not chatfish. They're not chatfish.
Oh, I thought they meant like Stan as in like the culture of Stan, not the...
No, the Stan nations.
Oh yeah, never mind.
If they're actually real, yeah, they're great.
The
But
Stan
if
brothers,
they're
yeah.
fake, and I want them gone.
Stanley.
Well, no chance for me to win a pocket fish, as I won't be around for the rest of the stream. That's why we got to do these early in the morning, Squeal. That's a good point. Squeal's never thinking about the other chatfish. Squeal's only thinking about himself. Because he's a kid. I have hiccups a lot. I need to end. There we go. I drank too much Gatorade. Alright, let's see. I think I've read almost every question. Alright, chat. If we have no further questions, we can segue to the next thing. But
how much for you to eat cube chicken again?
I don't even know where I got that from.
Sam's Club.
I doubt it. I don't think I go to Sam's Club, as far as I'm aware.
I don't know, I just guessed.
Sam's Club would be really nice if it was close by. But sadly, it's not. Sadly, it's not, little chatfishies. Alright.
So, Gibbs, Bino's not going to be here this weekend, right?
Yeah, Bino's fucked up. He's betrayed us.
Yep, so no Veil Riders this weekend.
How close is the release of the game?
Veil Riders is supposed
Quite
to
a
be
ways.
every other week.
Let's see if I can pull something up for you to look at.
It depends.
Chatfishies once told me they was little baby bucket fishies. Bucket fishies. Let's see, when was the
And they
last
all live in a shed.
videos?
You talking about the one I showed you?
No, I'm getting one of the programming streams so I can show the current state of the game. Because I can just simply show chat where it's at. Where's some footage? While we're working on the prologue stuff, to basically generating the assets, Robin's basically just polishing up the code for the build. I just need to find the part where he actually shows like the movement system. Oh, he doesn't have his standard 90s looking hairdo. I'm a little upset now. I mean, that kind of shows it, but not really. All right, well, I'll skim around this stream, but you can check out Robin's channel. The video game, not very close. The prologue is what we're working on this year. That'll be in hopefully closed testing at some point soon. But the tabletop war game is in public testing. The pen and paper is not ready to move into public testing. It's mostly just internal workings. That will be done once the Battle of Broken Storm stuff is all done. Or damn near close to it. I'll be working on that tonight. Got a lot to work on. Oh, I think tonight's going to be pen and paper, followed by lore video stuff, if I remember right.
Pen and paper for what?
Our pen and paper roleplay system. I'm mostly just doing the world building lore stuff. Robin's gonna handle the game mechanics.
Of your Treasure at War stuff?
Treasure at War is mechanically done by Chumba, so he handles the mechanics.
Yeah, where's this pen and paper thing coming from then?
The pen and paper is coming from the dev team. It's Robin's free time project. He's got it laid out.
Okay.
I've been working on the Astrian side of the book. Basically, the different things in culture and whatnot. You know, the stuff you see in pen and paper books. It's actually really cool. Robin's layout for that's been pretty cool to look at. I'm looking forward to actually putting it in there. But yeah, the big thing he was working on last that I saw was he was actually adjusting, having issues with getting the game to actually do spell things. He's not really working on animations or sprites or anything right now, because again, it's all focused on mostly code. The prettying up of this can happen way later. Look at that little Swede man. Look at the little Swede man! He's a true champion. He does like all of this himself, by the way. You can see a little bit of the combat animations. No blood effects or special effects or battlefield scarring stuff yet. That's way, way down the line. But I can't wait for it. There'll be persistent carcasses, blood. Carcasses will have mechanics for certain factions. It'll be super cool. Not gonna say what, but you can obviously guess.
Yep. Oh, what are you streaming later today?
Later today, depending on how much time, it might be a main series to continue the Dynasty Warriors thing. If there isn't that much time after this AKA, then we'll just do a community-based one. It depends.
Community-based?
Meaning letting chat just decide.
Based on what?
Yeah, kids, based on what?
Based on how many chatfishes there are.
I don't think he gets it.
What is the planned length of the game? The planned length of the game? The estimate? It's around 40, 30 hours, if I had to believe, based on what we've seen estimation. What's really fucking with this estimation, by the way, is that we don't actually have the playtime of the game, right? So it's not quite known as a factor. Once the prologue is finished and we hand it out to you guys, we're gonna have the campaign thingy log the playtime, so every time you save, it'll tell you how long your run is, and then you can report your run times back to us, and then that's gonna help us determine the correct calculations for how long it takes for people to get through combat encounters, how long for them to do, like, you know, sections of the game where they do dialogue. It's not like a massively open world game, it's relatively linear, but really I am wondering how long it's going to take, honestly. I don't imagine particularly long, at least I hope not, because for you to get through the prologue, it's only meant to be like a certain length in my head, but I really shouldn't say. We should just let you play it and then find out, so you don't try to fulfill my wish, muddy the water with the test sample. Carcass mechanic, it's going to be cannibalism, isn't it? Listen, I'm not saying it is, but there's a good chance.
It probably is.
Ask Kib to reveal his face. It is Ask Kib's anything stream, after all. Face reveals is dumb. It shouldn't be about me. It's about Robin. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Sweet man.
He's just a little Swedish guy. He can't help himself.
He's just showing people our game right now. Did he do the thing where he walked around the buildings? Because it actually works now. It used to fucking the building would just like, it'd be like, no, I'm not going to show you where your character is. You just
In this
see.
clip, I did see that he finished the pathing correctly this time.
Yep. That's actually a pretty big win. Once the combat systems are completely nailed down and all of the kinks are worked out, then we can actually start adding some of the more interesting things. Okay, just showing up the dynamic lighting. See ya.
Yep.
Kick on, father.
The lighting system. That's going to be pretty cool once it's actually fully operational, because we have a lot of sections that are going to take good use of that. It's going to be cool. I can't say anything more than that, because that'd be spoilers. I shouldn't really talk about that. That's something I should be quiet about. Alright, so let's see. Read that one. What is planned? Read that. Carcass mechanic. Yep. What type of style is the TTRPG? Oh, the video game? Or no, tabletop role-playing game. Sorry. My brain dumb. Which dice mechanics and action economy are you planned? I don't know. That's not my job. Or not my field
expertise.
Yeah. I'm writing the lore. That's actually something Robin... Ooh, that's so cool. Sorry. Every time I see the light thing, how it works, it looks so cool. There's obviously something to work out, and yes, I know this. He's probably telling that the pixelation is slightly off, but that is really cool. I have no idea how the fuck he did that in a 2D space. I'll never get over that. But either way, the fact that it casts onto the building blows my fucking mind. But, that's weird. What was I saying? I was answering your question. Let's read it again so I don't fuck it up. Oh, yeah. That's Robin. Robin's going to be handling that. We're not going to let people really muddle with that or know about it until it's ready to enter testing. Once it's ready for testing, we're going to show off the pen and paper in a mini short campaign that's planned. Once that campaign's done, then we will release the test version for people to play with, and then we'll start gauging feedback. Then we'll make adjustments as necessary. The pen and paper system, though, design-wise, I do know this. Design theory, it's designed with not really a focus on, what's the word? The focal point mechanically, from what I've read, is focused mostly on roleplay. It is a roleplay system, and that's what it heavily is focusing on. So it's not as picky or finite with certain things. You're kind of expected to know how to roleplay. So yeah, well, we'll have to see how it goes. I'm very interested. Shaders are fun things. You're fun. He's like, little gasp.
Thank you for saying that. I need to hear
Finish
that.
the prologue as quickly as possible. Ha ha ha, you're joking. Just play it at your leisure. And if you dislike or like parts of it, let us know. Let us know what you dislike about it and what you like about it. If you hated almost everything about it, let us know why. And then, if you liked it or you liked a lot about it, I don't know. I don't care. I do care. I don't want to get into... I don't care about the specifics. Tell me everything. Does that make sense? Or no, I care about the specifics.
No, I do care.
I'm trying to explain what I mean, because I don't want to muddy the water, but I want you to play it, and then I want you to tell me everything. And I mean everything. Down to what you thought of the characters, what you thought about the environment, what did you think about the art style, what did you think about the animations, what do you think about the visual effects, what did you think about the gameplay, what did you think about this, that, the sound effects, the music, what do you think about everything, the font choice. The more artistic you are, the better. It doesn't mean we're going to make changes based on those things. We might not. Depends on what it is. But I want to know everything. Down to your emotions, how you felt about the experience, how you felt afterwards. Everything. Narrows eyes at little Chatfish like, whoa. Kip, how do you handle your deities? Born from concepts or real people process? Depends on the religion. So there's a setting. There's a setting. It's not a setting. My brain starting to get a little frizzled. In our setting, when it comes to gods, usually they are born of manifestations of ethereal entities that usually manifest themselves around mortals in general. And then these sort of develop a sort of symbiotic relationship, if you will. Some not so much. It depends on the organism is what we'll call it. Because the ether is its own environment, I guess you could say. And so these will usually create what we call a dominion or a domain over the physical material world. It's like a bubble, right? And this bubble is projected physically. So whenever an entity manifests itself, should it break through the veil or otherwise, be it a Liber or a Phanomir, it will do so in such a way that reflects the culture and civilization, so that it's always unique for every culture, civilization that it interacts with, right? And so fundamentally and principally, this is changed based on a lot of factors, extenuating. It's rather complicated, I guess, but to break it down is everything is unique and everything is culture by culture, case by case basis. This is a lot of work, I know. Believe you me, I know. Believe you. But it makes for more interesting things because things are designed uniquely, block by block, section by section. That if block looks painful? Oh, you're talking about Binsky? Binsky's busted his ass on this coding. He's fucking done a really good job. He's a champion. Couldn't have done it without his expertise in coding and programming. All right, I think we've almost read them all. All right, chat, if you don't have any further questions, I'm going to wrap up here, and then we're going to move on and do something else. This is just a little AKA. This isn't supposed to be, like, massive if you don't want to. If you don't have any questions, that's more than fine. You don't need to come up with them, because I feel like every time I'm about to wrap up, I get, like, several questions. If you're worried about, like, asking things, you can, by the way. Ask anything. Or if you're just, like, you know, just wanting to hang out with me more, that's fair too. I understand. I'm pretty likable. What can I say? We love Kib so much. Oh my god. A quick question. You can ask it as many as you want. Now's the time to do it.
Wrote, hey, a quick question, and it didn't write the question.
He might be just doing this to make sure I don't like wrap up or anything. Like, ask as many questions as you want now. Are you doing okay, bro? Am I doing okay? What is that? What is that supposed to mean? Do I look like I'm doing okay to you? Jeffrey's like, what the fuck? Oh my god. So sad. Listen, I'm doing just fine, Chatfish. I'm working on the dream project of my entire life. Yeah, no, if you got to repost questions because I missed them, because I feel like I did miss some, go ahead and re-ask them. It does not need to be related to the game. It can be anything. Anything whatsoever. What kind of shirts Kibs like? Sleeveless, short, or long? Short. Short sleeves, usually. Just, I prefer it. Make my arms feel the air when they move. I like the feeling of wind on my skin. You know what I mean? I know. I know you know what I mean.
You knew him.
Never gonna answer that, Bino. Bino, burn in hell. Bino, asking gay questions. Florial, don't weave us, keep. I do like it when you scream. Well, let's see. Potetnom asks, I didn't hear your answer. So repost. Have you ever seriously thought about making a giant robot war game? Yeah. Several times. I even have some concepts in my head, personally. I mean, to be honest, if we're to be brutally honest, like mechanically, how many games I've thought of, probably well over, I don't want to say like 1,000 because that sounds ridiculous, but we're in the couple hundreds at this point, at the very least. I have a few hundred concepts on head, and like in my head that I could probably pull out, and then I've got even more written down. I don't know if it's at 1,000 yet, but it's quite a few. Honestly, the more games I play, usually I get new concepts for new ideas upon playing them. Like, what if we had done this differently? Like, variations, I don't really count them as, like, their whole games, like, right? Like, in hypothetical Star Wars Battlefront 3, I have my hypothetical Battlefront 3 design in my head and how that would look. Just like I have my hypothetical Terrestrial Total War if there was a Terrestrial Total War game. Or, like, you know, how I would make a Dynasty Warriors game based on what I know, or how I would redo Bannerlord entirely from the ground up. And we could talk about that, but I never really thought people would be interested in that kind of stuff, so I normally don't talk about that. I normally talk about it like on the side when I'm playing, like, oh, I really like wish that this wasn't like, you know, maybe this mechanic shouldn't be real time, maybe this should be turn-based, or like actual like full built up games, yes, as well. Like mercenary company simulating game, you know, a fucking my own version of a god sim, my take on what a god sim should be, my take on what city builders would be like if they were much better, mixing in more combat in there too, or stuff like that, etc., etc. I really have no shortage of that, but that's something, even as a designer or developer, you should always be exercising your imagination. Never stop exercising it. Basically, anytime you play a game, like, how would you make this game? Or what do you like about this game? What do you not like about it, right? Like, there's elements of Dead Space I like, and there's elements I don't like, you know? And just like with every game. And I love a lot of these games. And I honestly discovered that I love more games than I hate games. And it always feels like it's easy to become so easily distracted and feel like you're black-pilled, because you'll see a lot of negativity, right? And it's easy to be corrupted by that. But when you actually look at the amount of games that you like and you write it out, like when I did the CNC or the Command & Conquer, or not the Command & Conquer, the RTS list, I call it the Command & Conquer thing because the first thing that comes to my mind is Command & Conquer because it's got a special place in my heart, you know? But these RTS games, right? When it comes down to it, it's one of those things where, you know, I've got a lot of things that I like about it and how I feel about it and what I think would be good and what I think would be, you know, better and whatnot. Will you make a docky/body pillows of Astrid girls? Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. I think that all fan art is good.
There's already one of Aerith.
Yep, there's one of Aerith. I'm not opposed to those things. For example, I think all fan art is good. In general, I am honored whenever I see fan art, whether it's lewd, whether it's not lewd, whether it's a hentai piece, it does not matter. The fact that somebody would make an art piece or have an art piece made for our setting, I find endearing. That's why whenever Giggles makes me fan art, because Giggles refuses to accept payment. I even offered him some money, and he flat out refused me. But the big thing is that what I admire and I love is I just love the art and the effort put into it. It's special. It's one of those things that it motivates me and makes me feel better when I'm not like doing too good. And yes, when it comes to burning out, I know I shouldn't burn out. I do push myself, yeah, I know, and that's true. But I've got good friends, and I've got you guys, and you guys are good people, and I've got a good dev team. But sometimes I do need to push myself a little bit more because I do need to do certain things. And I have to do these things because the team needs these things, right? I've got to push myself to stream every day and always make the daily goal, or at least make the weekly, or at least make by the end of the month, have made what we need the month. Because they're relying on me, right? And it's important that I do my job. It's part of being on a team. You don't leave team members behind. And they've never left me behind. And they push themselves too. And sometimes they push themselves too much too, and I have to yell at them. You know, they work over too much, or they burn out, because sometimes they'll do that. And I'm like, no, listen. It's okay. It's stressful. It's stressful. I know we're working on a big project. This was always going to take a long time to make. This was a multi-year commitment. And it's easy to say, but it's harder to understand, right? And what I always worry about is that because the artists know that I stress out about like pushing something out and making sure that we get something out to the audience sooner, they push themselves a little too hard too. And I have to basically talk to them and they're like, you need to slow down. Like, it'll be ready when it's ready. And if it takes years, it takes years to get out. What we're making is we're going to make something we're going to be proud of. We may not make a lot of games, but what we make, I want us all to be proud of. Because what we make is special. It's more than just another video game. To us, it's much more than that, and that's okay. And maybe to other people, it'll just be a video game, and that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. After all, we live and we exist to create entertainment for you. That is our job. We're here to make you smile. And as long as we can do that in some way, then we're doing our job right. How much to make a Dakimakura thing? I mean, if the standard rate is 200, probably just 200, I think. Yeah, production-wise. Yeah, we could have that done. 200 flat. We could make one of our main, 200 flat. Would you want a backside to that too? Okay, so let me explain this. If Chatfish want to fund specific things that for the projects and stuff, or like additional media, I'm also okay with doing. But if you want to, but making sure that it's something we can do in a timely manner and it doesn't inflate, you know, the actual development time. You know what I'm saying? It's already a long project. We don't need to add on like mechanics. But it's like, if you want like a Dakimakura of like Armain or like Ria or whatever, yeah, we can produce that as one of our side artists. It'd be just 200 flat, but for one side. Because what we'll do is we'll release the art, and then we'll just release the art, I think, for free, so people can then print it themselves or whatever. Just because I don't think I should get involved with shipping and stuff like that. If that makes sense? It's just easier this way. As long as Chatfish help fund the studio, I don't really care. As long as we're making profits and succeeding, we're winning. Now, let's see. I've gone past some questions here, but that answers that question, I think. How would you redo Bannerlord? I'm curious. Oh boy, there's several things. We'd start with the basics, but let's save that question for just a second later. Squilly, put a pin in that one. Remember that.
Which one?
Bannerlord.
Yeah,
Bannerlord? Oh.
because that's a complicated question because you have to redesign it from the ground up. Because what I would do is I'd make my own version of it, but it would be fundamentally different mechanically. Similar in some ways, but I'd re-envision a lot of mechanics, and it would have to be built with a different engine if I had to guess.
You have a $30 donation from Silverian.
Excuse me. Ragnarok says, if you want to answer, how would you redo Bannerlord? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess there wasn't that
It
many
was
more
just
questions
the
after.
statement.
Never mind. I had an idea. Give me Indio for Chatfish. Silverin says, sure. Thank you for your generous donation. That purchases another Chatfish. It's not like he's drawing a lot of Chatfish already. Oh yes, the Chatfish banner is well into production. It will not be out by January, but I did see that Indio had finished line working. I think, or not. I don't think he's done line working, but he's finished placing all his Chatfish on his side of the banner. There are still the other 3 artists that have yet to place theirs. Basically, what they're doing is they're passing the piece around, so each of them are working on it, and that way they can do other things so they don't burn out on this Chatfish banner. If we get more Chatfish next year, we're going to add another artist so we can continue to divide it up so it stays smaller for each individual artist. What's up?
He did say he was finished with the line art.
Oh, he is? Okay. That's actually really good. If he's done with the line art, then it's just down to coloring and shading.
Mhm.
And then basically rendering it out and then done. Wow, that banner. See, this is why planning comes along a great deal. Yeah, they spent a lot of time planning, but now that the production phase started, isn't it going so much smoother?
Yeah.
This is a good job on you, and I think you helped with Licky Fish, but Licky Fish too. Like,
Yes, me and Lycanfish worked on that, and we've already set up a thing for them to help make it even easier for next year.
Yep, great job on that, by the way. Because I've seen that the production for that is going much more smoothly now. We've definitely started to refine the methods of making that. Let's see. Bannerlord is perfect game, Gibbs. I disagree. I like Bannerlord, but there are certain aspects that I wish the game did differently. And that I would
Did
want
they even
redesigned.
get all of the level mechanics to work?
I don't know. I haven't played Bannerlord in a
I
long
don't think
time.
they ever did.
I haven't played it since it was in early access. For a
think it's-
second there, I read that as him asking for Gibbs. Okay, I got up. Chatfish are being passed around. Sound lewd. Pass your Chatfish around. Whoa.
Pass a coin to you.
I need another drink. Go ahead and ask what you're going to ask.
Hmm?
Were you asking something?
No, I was just commenting that I don't think they ever actually implemented the passive skills and feats correctly in Bannerlord. It doesn't. So they finally did get them to work, because last time I looked and saw anything, it was that they said the game was done, but half of the level up feats didn't even work.
They did release the game when it wasn't finished. That got them some flack. They did that to get more sales, I do, don't they? I think Bannerlord's a fun game, but I think I think I was expecting more, perhaps.
I think Bannerlord is mostly handicapped by its clunky controls.
All right, now that we have no more questions, I'll answer the big one. So how I would redesign Bannerlord is I'd redesign it from the ground up. The first thing I would want to do is not really change the, how do I put it? The general idea of the modes, but I would actually redesign the campaign to make it better. The first thing I'm going to do in this regard is we're going to start by adding co-op to the campaign, and also adding the ability to do head-to-head if you want in the campaign. And then basically also redesign the campaign so that the campaign has a time where it just moves forward whatever you're doing. And there is a pause feature and stuff like that. There's also like partying mechanics where you can party with friends. And so basically focus more on the multiplayer campaign and the campaign as a whole, and also the different features around it, right? So first things first, we want to improve the military combat system. So I think we should implement an RTS mode. I think that would help. Not only do we implement a proper RTS mode, but have it so that when you take control of your character, if your character is killed in combat, you can actually swap to another commander and take control of them. That way it doesn't just end. I don't know if they've changed that. Again, when I played, that was the way it worked. So whenever you die, you swap controls to another playable character, because you just dying can be very anticlimactic, and then you just sit there and you don't do anything and it auto resolves, and that's really boring. And so we're redesigning that aspect as well. I would kind of redo the characters starting things as well, like in terms of when you start in a different thing, you actually start doing different jobs properly. Again, I don't know if they reworked this compared to where it was, but basically I'd also rebuild the entire game so that you can literally just be a farmer. And so we designed the game in sections. We do the crowdsourcing method so we can get constant funding. And then we focus on the core mechanics first, which is like becoming a warlord and a mercenary and like taking territories. We do that first because that's going to be the thing people want to do first. Then we start expanding other jobs, like owning a smithy, owning a building or something, or any of these sort of like jobs, or even being a farmer or owning a village and being a village chieftain, having to manage crops and cycles, and basically adding farming simulation aspects as well in terms of game mechanics. And so now you can start being and role-playing this game, so that basically making Bannerlord into a fully simulated sim, right? Whenever you go to a location, there's like a thing you can live on. You can live in that town and act in that town, and the world around you is actually happening. It's not paused, it's not static. And so that's how I would redesign the game.
What's that other game that you like playing? The one that was a city builder? Anno. Do you think they would have like an Anno feature where you can physically walk around your own settlement?
Yeah, we're gonna like walk around and explore. I mean, the big thing
you already
is,
can do that.
Yeah, because like that'd be one of the things I'd want to do to Bannerlord, because Bannerlord treats the idea of like being other like things and doing these jobs and being like, yeah, you can be like a single warrior. Like, yes, you can be the personal bodyguard of the king or whatever. And so basically the first thing we focus on is the military aspect, because that's going to be the most popular aspect of the game. So we're going to focus on the combat, we're going to focus on the battles, we're going to focus on the mechanics, then we're going to focus on like leadership and the ability to actually have ranks and move up the echelon. And then lastly in that whole like roadmap, we're going to focus on becoming a king, becoming a lord, having people under you, and adding these mechanics, and basically building the entire thing to fully simulate this. Having a dynasty, having a legacy. I do know they have mechanics for that, but I know that they're kind of shallow. And so the big thing is, what you need to do is basically start expanding these things so that, you know, it builds into something bigger. Now the village stuff and like the becoming a caravaneer and owning those shops and stuff should be added later, because adding those right away, they'll just be tacked on. They're going to have to be completely redesigned and built up more later. And because we're using modern game development powers, meaning that we can treat it as a crowdsourced project, meaning that we can give it constant development over time, we can basically build this game up to be as complicated as we want. This is one of the beautiful things with Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is basically like the counter argument to Star Citizen, because the game I would actually propose as an argument against what I just talked about building wise is Star Citizen. But I think the issue with Star Citizen is that it tries to do a lot of things at the same time, when it should just be like, okay, let's get this one part of the game done first, okay, and then we can add in, you know, the shipping container, like being a trade company thing, and then we can add in mining and stuff. And we can start adding and building more of these mechanics. You know what I mean? Make sense, Chat Veggies?
Yeah, you get it.
Also, I think part of Bannerlord's issue was that weren't they government funded? Like they got a bunch of grants from the government.
Yeah, usually when you start getting like funding out externally, you start excess spending, meaning that you're not buying things you need.
Seemed like they put a lot of effort because they didn't need to make everything as good as it could, because they were already getting their money. So they didn't have any incentive besides just, you know, if they wanted to make the game really good, which it seems like they were making it for the money, not because of a desire.
Oh no, Robin's stream is over, Kasovic. I'm showing off what Robin was doing because Chatfish was asking how the game is coming along. And so I'm actually showing them a recent stream he did of the game. And I also am showing off his channel too. If you actually want to check out when he streams the game, you can actually go and head on over and subscribe. You can actually see it be developed live. This is a cool thing I thought we should start doing. There, look, there's a Kib there. That's looking good. It's me, Kib. I was talking about something when he was showing off the, like, moving behind the buildings thing, which was really cool. I'm like, god damn, because I remember when that was buggy and didn't work right. Like, the layers of the house didn't move right, or, like, fucking got all finicky. It's crazy to see how far it's come. Robin has really worked hard.
His programming streams are always fun to watch. Or at the very least, listen to.
I also really enjoy when people go to these and start asking him questions. Like, look at him smiling and laughing there. It's just nice to not only just see a team member just having a good time, but also hearing him be passionate about our game. It really resonates with me. It's like listening to Chumba and the tabletop meeting stuff. Hearing people being passionate about the setting makes me feel like I'm part of a bigger thing. And that's always what I've dreamt of doing. Basically building my own franchise and IP where other people can create it. Because one day I want authors. I want people to write books in this setting. And I want people to play with this setting. And I want it to surpass me. And I want to grow old looking at this setting and watching it age with me. And also seeing all the people and the stories and the fun times that are had with it. I think that's the most amazing thing.
Also, on the topic of Torture, Bon should not know how to play, although she was quite distracted by a big bowl of mac and cheese.
I'm not
I'm not
surprised. Yep.
I would be too.
Well,
He also went on a small tirade about why you should never wear pants while streaming.
Huh.
that's TMI. TMI! I don't need this mental imagery. I'm gonna gig. Ugh. Gross. Being naked while streaming is cringe. Now, the only time I've ever been shirtless when streaming was based because it was hot in here and my AC was broken. And I was sweating. I literally had like a handkerchief and I had to wipe the sweat up my forehead one time. Waiting for them to fix my fucking AC. Oh my god, that sucked. But before I had a fan too.
Tibbs complains about getting an image put in his mind, immediately puts an image of
Sweaty
him
kid.
sitting there sweating.
She's like, shorty. Oh,
Anyone have a link to Robin's stream?
go ahead and link it. So chat if you want to check it out. Because I do recommend
I'll link
it.
to his channel.
He does stream other things. You can always stop by and say hello. He streams a bit earlier than I do, so we don't actually really compete with each other too much.
He streams pretty frequently now, which is nice.
But yeah,
The,
the programming streams
here
he does them intermittently, but you can check them out. You can actually see our game being made on the side. This can also give you a great deal of insight into the coding stuff that I can't really answer. So if you're interested in coding or programming and you want to see the meat and the systems as to how our game functions and why I think it's incredible and impressive what he's done, but that you can also ask the man himself. Ask our programmer. Hang out with him. Chill with him. He's a good dude. He loves the catfishies. He's always busy. Catfishies. I know. But yeah, do stop by and wish him well. So what's the chat about now? Tabletop, video, pen and paper, pen and paper. Chat's just asking random things. This isn't an Ask Kibbs anything. It can be related to the game. It can be related to the channel. It can just be like personal opinion. Like, what's your favorite sauce? I don't know. No one's asked me that, but you know, I am glad because I don't know how to answer that because I don't know how to.
Well, you suggested kid.
I don't even know the answer honestly to that question. I like a lot of things. It really depends on what.
Ask Kibbs anything.
Ketchup for French fries, obviously, right? Burgers, it depends on the mood. Like ketchup and mayo mixed together is really good on a burger, but then again, like a nice barbecue or maybe like a nice like spicy homemade sauce would be maybe something. I don't know. It just depends on
Favorite fast food.
Favorite fast food. Okay, so technically a
Brand.
lot of things qualify for fast food. So can we talk lower tier or upper tier?
Well, it depends on what you consider lower or upper tier.
I usually put Burger King, McDonald's, and Taco Bell and all that stuff at low tier fast foods, meaning that they're very accessible. But like, I would put Arby's or like, I guess like Wendy's, but I haven't been there in ages, or Culver's and upper.
Wendy's on the same level, I
put-
think, as Burger King
I-
and McDonald's.
Culver's is almost too good to be in the fast food tier, but is sort of a. It's not really fast food, is it? Google it. Culver's is really good, and so I would just say Culver's. It's a Midwest chain, but I don't go there very often because it's far away, and even if I could, I wouldn't have it very often because Butterburgers aren't necessarily very healthy for you. Very tasty.
With a name like that, who could guess? Ragnarok
Butter-
asks, what is the minimum PC spec you plan to aim for if you have any idea?
That should be a question you should definitely ask Swede Man. This little Swede guy in the bottom right hand corner who's just, scratching his face a little bit.
He's got Leon Kennedy hair.
He does, doesn't he? I've always thought Robin looks like a 90s hero. And I keep telling him that. And I don't think he understands what I mean.
Every time I see like his little picture and that hairstyle, I'm reminded of how they proclaimed for the live action Leon. No one exists with that hairstyle, so they had to go with a different actor.
They
Even though
should
it's
have
the
hired
generic
Robin.
90s hairstyle.
The guy they chose for Leon Kennedy honestly doesn't look like it. Like, if they made Robin do a little bit of, like they do a little bit of bulking for him, like, he could pull it off.
Probably.
He kind of looks like him.
Just imagine Robin doing like kick flips and stuff across the battlefield.
He already does.
What's
You
funny
should do
is,
it,
so
Screen.
the animations for our game, the combat animations, he actually did those. Not only did he animate them, but he also, I think, recorded himself in a mirror, so he could actually see how the human body and form works, usually, when studying the actual thrusts and stuff, and of striking and basically hitting with a sword and movements.
Jolly Gaming asks, are we still doing Fit Gibbs?
We are. I do need to do. I'm gonna start
A
doing
lot
them
of them.
today. Now that my cough has fully subsided, I'm gonna resume working on Fit Kib stuff.
You're gonna force Reggie to do them as well?
He doesn't have to, but he can if he wants to join me in them, and it's probably healthy, so you should consider it.
I'll join in when you do 'em.
Stretching and doing workouts is always healthy.
Like, for example, on our Helldiver streams, my new plan is for every death we die, that's how many Fit Kibs we do. So the total death of the entire party. And I
You're
think
gonna
that's a
kill
great way to do
yourself
it.
if Spider Pig joins.
Spider Pig's just gonna. Remember, griefing doesn't count. Griefing doesn't. Because I think that's a great way to do some exercises while playing Helldivers. Because Helldivers is pretty much a fun binge game, you know. And for every for a total war game, what I would do is for every 100 soldiers I'd lose, I'd do a Fit Kib. That's what I'm thinking. Because I've been thinking about that. Because my intention today was actually to surprise chat with the Shogun 2 stream. But I didn't actually remember what mods I used, so I was like, well, I did promise chat and ask me anything, and I haven't done that yet. Just like I promised we would do the a sort of a lore stream of the next promise I need to fulfill is the lore stream that I promised.
Oh right, which series won that? I don't remember.
The Age of Kanar, if I remember right.
Yes. Now, big ask for $2. Can we get speech funds?
After we make the daily, I will do some today. We'll make that a habit, okay? I know we gotta start tackling them. My cough is finally gone. It's gone to the point where I think I'm fully recovered now. And I do like how when I was at the grocery store grabbing things on the way back home, there was a lady who was coughing next to me, and I'm just like, please, for the love of God, not again.
Nice.
Like, I just fucking got over this last illness. I still cough a little, but it's almost over.
Zar says he's playing Shogun 2 right now, so you can help with mods if you need.
Nom noms, you should really play Helldivers 2. Honestly, I don't really care about the anti-cheat stuff because a lot of games have this stuff, and I think you're missing out on the good. I know you're just memeing. But you should try it. You should at least play it with me. At least in one rotation. Are you ever gonna do reviews with another YouTuber again? We don't talk about other YouTubers again. I enjoyed your shit talks about show. Probably not. I just don't really get. How do I put this? When I do these collaborations, or when I did collaborations and stuff, I don't really receive anything. You'll see me do some sort of collaboration in the future, probably. I'm not going to advertise it, because I don't want you to know about it. Yes, I do. But it's basically just an unrelated thing for somebody else's thing. As just a thing, is all it is. I don't really want to... I want to be my own person and do my own thing. I'm not happy when I'm not doing that. And I also don't get anything in return for helping people, is what I've learned. I'll do a lot of work for somebody else or do something, and not really get anything. And because that's kind of how that sort of feels when it comes to that, and I'm not going to say anything specifically to this person's because it's rude, I don't really feel a need to do that. I actually hate doing it, if that makes sense. And I've never been happier now than ever. Not only am I doing better now than I've ever done in my entire life as a content creator, but I'm happier. The animation looks great. That's funny, Daryl. Those animations are super placeholder. The real animations are going to look a lot better than that. But yeah, I'm glad you like the placeholder animations, though. That's good. That means that you're definitely going to enjoy when the actual animations are done.
It's mostly because Robin's a very talented artist.
He is he is incredibly talented, programmer-wise. Like, I always sing him praises, but I honestly really appreciate Robin more than anything in the world. It's thanks to his help that actually has maintained the game, being a video game. Because if it weren't for Robin, I would never abandon my dream, but I would probably have made it into a book, and it probably would be almost out by now. I know it's a long story, but I'm pretty sure it would be out by now. If I just focused on that, it would be out by now, actually, if it was a book. But Robin has kept the programming side so alive that I don't want to make it into a book, because I think it would be actually, well, it would spoil everything. And I think it fits like a glove for a video game.
What about after the game's done?
I do want to do like a lot more stuff with our setting, but if things are going to continue the way they're going to go, project number 2 needs to begin with me doing what I'm doing now. Meaning I won't have time to author anything. Because video game work is intense. I mean, you know that. Like, there's so much stuff I need to work on, and I get anxiety just thinking about it. But I know that by being here, we're generating revenue, and that revenue is going to feeding the team. And so that helps alleviate that stress so I don't feel as bad. But
You're very lucky that you don't suffer from burnout like a lot of people do.
honestly, I need to work harder. I wish, okay, so this is gonna sound weird, but I wish I could engage in crunch more for myself. Not for the team. I don't want them to do that. But I would love to crunch.
Stream skips.
Oh, so I'm not allowed to, okay.
Well, yes, it's not necessarily something I want. I mean, I guess at best it could be volunteer, but here's the reason why I wouldn't be big on that, okay? So one thing you got to remember is that if I do something, I'm the leader of the project, and by doing it, everyone will then feel guilt. And I know this because my team members will sacrifice things that they would normally not do for any other client or any other person because I did something. That's important to note, because that's, regardless of intent, is not good. That's bad. That's why I'm always very adamant about you guys taking time off and taking breaks, because your mental health, like, yes, I may be doing those things, but the leader will inspire others to follow in their footsteps usually. And that's the nature of things, right? They'll jump on grenades and stuff. I don't want you doing that. I need you guys to be nice and healthy. I can handle doing the crunch stuff because I love that shit. But I don't think that's for everyone at all. If that makes sense. It's important to note that, chat, for your own personal stuff as well. Just remember that. Just because you might be willing to jump on a grenade or do something, you might inadvertently be inspiring others to follow and do the same. And by doing that, you're putting a pressure on them to do it. You know, I don't want to pressure my team into overexerting themselves into, you know, being super exhausted. Except Indio. So
I'm gonna start pressuring Yinless to start actually obeying the rules.
I'm gonna play Assassin's Creed Shadows. I might. If Chatfish want, if Chatfish start buying Chatfish to put on the thumbnail for Ass Creed Shadows, yeah, well, let's just call it Ass Creed Shadows because it looks ass.
It is ass.
Yeah, we'll stream it. I think it could be funny to make fun of, as like a let's laugh at Ubisoft as they die kind of stream. This might be our last opportunity to do that, by the way, because as far as I'm aware, Ubisoft is shuttering a lot of their studios. So.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time.
Ass Creed Shadows may be our last time to do a laugh at them stream.
I don't think they'll die. I think Tencent will just buy them up and then they'll become just a
Another
Corpse.
subsidiary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think our game's looking pretty good,
Always Tencent too.
at least code-wise.
agree.
But then again, it's our game, so it's like our little baby. So I don't know. To me, it's like when I look at our game and I watch Robin work on it, like I admire every little thing about it, you know. But that's because I have this
agree.
attachment to it.
But yes, you are and myself are literally the bias.
I mean,
Towards
it's a
it.
little baby. It's being developed, chat. It's like, and it's like, I don't crash as much. I have a stable frame rate now. It's like, oh my god, it has a stable frame rate. I remember when he implemented the custom shader code, and our game's frame rate was 1. It was 1.
Beautiful.
It
I mean,
said
well,
one,
you don't
but it-
need more. Honestly.
It meant 1 literally, as in it would have a single frame and it wouldn't make another one. And it wouldn't make another one. Period.
Like, this is what your shade looks like. It's not, it doesn't update.
Ever.
What it looks like.
But man, isn't it pretty?
Oh, is there a dono? I have to remember to check. When I get in these tangents, so my dono screen's on the left. I know, I maybe need to reorganize these monitors, because the chat's over on the right. So when I'm looking at over here, I'm looking at you, chat. When I'm looking over there, I'm also checking the secondary chat screen, and I'm also checking the donos, because the donos are over on this screen. Over here is chat and the stream backend stuff, so if there's some sort of breaking or something, I can switch things over here and adjust on that.
And you said I should start drawing a bunch of personal art and see Kib's panicking when deadlines get close.
Oh my god. Listen, you're not allowed to draw personal art, okay? Because we have to finish outstanding requests. Finish the outstanding requests for chatfishies who have ordered things and have been waiting for a good month or two, or God forbid, like several months, because there's a couple of pieces that are waiting that long. So I can actually stream those games for those chatfish, because they've been waiting a long time, and we need to play those games for those chatfish. But I can't start that without the thumbnail. Chatfish are waiting. They paid for things.
know.
It's time to deliver.
Donates. Speaking of pain, Jano donates 25 PLN. This is my frame. There are many more like this, but this is mine. Hashtag skirt fund fit dance reggae.
Did I miss a dono?
There was a donation from Catholic.
Oh, there it is. Okay,
Kids.
I got it. You must get fit cubes, just like I am trying. Also, thank you for making me want to dig out my old programming books again. Maybe you should get back into programming. Who knows? Maybe you could be my slave at some point. Guys, like, What do you mean, Don't you want to be a slave? Little bit? When I look at Robin's
Don't worry,
code,
chat.
I think my eyes glaze over.
I like
have
how
no
he
idea
leaves
what
comments.
I'm seeing.
He leaves comments on things. It's nice.
You're supposed to.
He
do that,
does?
Evan.
Yes, I know you're supposed to.
How can you tell?
The green.
Is that what that is? I know what a
Yes.
comment is. I just didn't know
He'll
what that is.
add 2 backslashes. That means it's text that will not be added to the actual code.
Yes, it's how you leave comments.
I have learned something today, chat, about coding.
It's C sharp, I believe.
Our
Spelling
little
error.
video game, it's getting bigger. Slowly but surely.
Slowly, but so
But don't worry, chat. Being a slave's not too bad. You get cookies. You don't actually get cookies.
Oh yes, we will be working on the culture to answer your question, by the way. We need to do that for the pen and paper book. The pen and paper
Yeah.
book needs it. It's also going to be in the core book, because remember the core Astrian book is both for the pen and paper and
Yes,
for
that's
the
what
tabletop
I'm
board
like.
game.
You and me need to actually work on that at some point.
Yep.
Because I'll need.
Fortunately, most of the
more stuff.
culture's relatively done for the Astrians. The Fear has a good start. The Builders have a good start. What's really going to start to get a little iffy is when we start pushing to like the High Kingdoms and the Gurukar. They've got some preliminary work, but a lot more work needs to be done, because when it comes to preliminary work, why there's not too much preliminary stuff is because we're going to have to go back and forth a little bit, because there's this thing called cultural friction and cultural something orifice or something. I forget. Where two cultures touching each other tickle each other. Like,
You mean osmosis?
And, they're like, and they do
Called-
that.
I think it's called cultural
Yes.
osmosis.
There is a bit of osmosis between cultures that are usually touching each other. And so that's why when we make Astria a point, we have to touch all the cultures around them, then we have to bounce back to the Astria and see what interactions they had. If anything was adopted osmosis-wise, then we bounce back to the other ones, and then we bounce to their neighboring ones, do the same thing, bounce back, and then go back osmosis, then move on to the next culture, osmosis. This also applies to technological osmosis as well. So if a society develops a technology or an innovation, usually what occurs is a function of osmosis of some sort, either by stealing, either by selling or bartering or trading information. That information will eventually be disseminated to neighboring cultures. So the discovery of iron, while a massive advantage, would eventually see its way to be spread, either through trade secrets, basically leaked deals or whatever. Hence why certain things are kept secret, right? So it's very difficult, because when you introduce more people, right? Like it's the forgery, the forging of Star Steel. Why is it as secret as it is? Why hasn't any sort of osmosis taken place technologically? And the key reason is A, there's not much of it. There's a lot of interest from other cultures in getting it, most because they're annoyed by it. And C, the big thing is because very few people know how to do it. So it's kept as a closely guarded secret. This is also theoretically why certain cultures, like, talked about mystical blades in certain parts of history. The blade that could shatter through other blades and basically, like, pierce armor. And it's often believed that this is in reference to a new forging technique that was kept a secret, that forged a very specific thing that a blacksmith had used as a very fine secret and then was able to maintain that secret. So that's why that, blade was so dangerous against the other blades, Or maybe there was an early iron weapon, being used against bronze equipment. Stuff of that nature. And so that's where that all
Or
stems from.
steel even.
Skeekets.
And don't worry, Czar. You just focus on your upcoming game with Prav for now.
Yeah,
Kick his
kill
ass.
Prav. He's like, yeah, dies.
Don't kick Prav's ass. Prav doesn't like it when you kick his ass.
Okay, does he use Copilot or LMS? I don't know. Does anybody know what he's doing? Look at it. You can see it. Yeah, you can go on the streams and ask him.
I
Robin's
mostly
pretty
just
helpful.
talked to him about the language and stuff, so I don't remember hearing anything about that stuff.
Bino says his L art piece is halfway done.
Oh yeah.
Damn it to me. No, I want to see.
Because you got the Canary lore things. Wasn't there another settings, like lore thing you were gonna do?
It was
Or did
supposed to
those
be
not get
Fallout,
funded?
but that was never.
Yeah, it wasn't actually fun. Okay.
Yeah, but then we would just do a stream and talk about Fallout lore.
Mhm.
And then we'd even learn things, because I know there are things I just don't know. I know quite a bit about Fallout's lore, but I know that I also know nothing. And that's why I'm so schmert. That's why
I
I'm
know that I do not
Gregor's-
know.
Gregor says a question for Kibbs to read, but I'm gonna read it.
so-
Can I ask you to? He asks you, Kib. Can I ask you to ask Reggie if he is having fun being a DM?
Are you having fun being a DM, loser?
Oh, yeah. Takes a lot of time, but it's fun.
Kill Reggie, kill Reggie.
I mean, because I'm working with both the Chatfish and with Bucky on putting together the actual campaign.
True, you are getting a little bit of help, which does help, because that means that you're not.
No, it's not help. Those are more things. There are more requirements that me.
We're trying to make them feel like they're helpful.
They're not helpful.
They're not helpful.
Bucky's a shitter.
Wow,
Let me make
Bucky's gonna
an
hear
alt
this and come
account
in here and
start
beat you up.
making demands of Reguline with it.
Cassavik says, but yeah, C# is what is tough. What it is, though. If I recall, Unity is a slightly modified C#, though I haven't used it and stopped caring about it with that absurd license garbage they tried to implement. Yep, that's gonna suck, by the way, because once we're done with the prologue, because we're working on the prologue this year, right? And so if that's what we're going to be working on this year and we get that done, right? Let's say we get done by sometime next year, and then we're going to put it up on Steam. What's going to really fucking suck is that we're going to have to stop development programmatically so that we can start moving all the stuff over to a different engine. Because, we can't use
Now-
Unity long term because we can't trust them.
Robin has said the engine that the movie he found to move to, it won't be that hard.
Yep, he did say that it's going to be actually relatively quick, which does make me happy. Like, because I was on the cusp of a couple things. Like, I know that the prologue is something I wanted to release as the demo, but I was also playing with the idea of maybe making the entirety of chapter 1 a part of the demo as well. I don't know. I'm a little iffy on that.
Mm,
I'm iffy on that. I know. I mean, when you think about how long our game is, it's not that much of our game. Our game's rather fucking long. Game's got like
Maybe
a
just,
bajillion
like,
chapters.
the beginning part, if you wanted to.
Yeah, but it has to be
To
something
entice people.
mechanically, right? And we can't
Mhm.
talk about specifics, but I need
Oh, yeah.
the chat to engage with certain mechanics that would be fun. And chapter 1 has a little bit of a slow pace to it, with certain, at least.
And it's probably not good to have that.
I think Chatfish is gonna get the prologue. Prologue's pretty fucking good. I'm glad we went with my idea, and of course I'm glad because it's my idea. My idea is to basically not hold back, because I realized a long time ago that if we hold back, like the big problem is that, like, how will they react when the reveal happens? Like, iffy, right? Because then they're gonna feel like neither setting has as much care into it, and it's like, no. I know for a fact that I put my heart and soul into this, and so I need to have faith in myself. And to have faith in myself means that we do not hold our punches. We're gonna hit Chatfish really hard. They're gonna get the wind knocked out of them and plop to the ground, deflated.
Okay, the
Deflated.
made of rubber, they can bounce
Deflated.
back.
Because I want them to be deflated after the prologue. Like, I want them absolutely just destroyed. And then when Chatfish have been thoroughly flattened, flatfish, if you will,
You want
just
Travis
pop
to experience
back up.
mind break?
then they're gonna really be excited for chapter 1. Yes. Can I ask you to ask Reggie if he? Yeah, we already did that. Okay. Like, I read that one. Yep. One day I will retire more to some third world country and dev some games for fun. Bear in mind that deving some games for fun. Well, actually, yeah, no, that's actually not so bad. As long as what you're making, right? Because we're making my passion project, the game we're making, it's huge. So it's like a AAA game being made by an indie studio. So it's
I mean, given today's quality of AAA games, that's
it's like a AAA game from the past, okay? There.
A game that wasn't.
I wanted to elevate myself a little bit above the absolute bottom of that bucket. Oh no, Beano's fucking thing, he's making it animated. Oh no, I love how it says Beano Fish. He did post progress. We can't show that to chat yet until we make the daily. Beano is working on his L art and it looks beautiful. I want you to know that I fucking adore the Beano Chatfish. He'll soon be electrocuted to death. And I like how in his L piece he drew it as it should be, with exposed
Right.
wires. Yes.
Unfortunately, though, I must head to work. So I wish you both and chat a good day.
All right, take care. Good luck at work, buddy, and drive safe. He's gonna go, you know, because he's driving. Not safe because he's Choomba. Yeah, true.
He must never. He's always living in danger, Gibbs. Living on the wild side. That's fucking Chumba there.
Because one of the
Choomba
things
does
I
that.
learned from, what was it? One of the artists that not necessarily I worked with, but I talked to, was that the question was, how many games do you want to make in your lifetime, right? And that was one of his motivations as to why he did what he did. He like put his stuff away, put his games away, he put his hobby things away, and put them in places he couldn't reach, and like hid things from them. So out of the hassle, so he'd focus on his artwork and for his projects, right? And for me, it was like, how many games do I want to make? And I thought about that question too, but specifically how many games? And I was like, well, I don't want to make a lot necessarily. I want to make games that have impact, games that, like, damn, this is good. Like, this is timeless. And in order to build something like that, you need to build it slowly and you need to put time and effort into it. It's not going to be quick. It's not going to be done tomorrow. It's not going to be done next year. It's not going to be done the year after that. And that's okay. Just keep working on it. Don't give up. And because I've adopted that mentality of just continuing to work on it and not giving up and just continue to work on it. And yeah, there are moments of stress. Like, sometimes I stress out. Sometimes like my anxiety acts up and I'm like fucking like unable to sleep because I like fucking lay in bed and I'm just like stressing out laying there because I'm like, oh my God, like like, what if people like give up on me? Because like I'm not like, what if people stop believing that I'm doing what I'm doing, or like working what I'm working on? What if they start to hate me over it, or dislike me because it's taking a long time? And I have to remind myself, like, no, like, if that happens, if it does, then, you know, that's just is what it is. But there's no point to get all worried about it, because you will get it done. You're gonna get it done. Just focus on your work and just keep working. It's a big project. Big projects and things worth fighting for are never done the next night. This may take your whole life. This may take time, but if you want this, if you want to achieve this, you have to be willing to put in the time to make it happen. And if that means multiple years, that means multiple years. And you've already been doing it. I've been doing it for a very long time, but only recently have I gotten like a big team, like in the last few years, right? Before then it was just me by myself. And oh my god, comparing the years by myself to having a team for a couple of years is massive in terms of differentials. Like, Jesus Christ. And I think that's like the most important thing. Just relax. Like, don't freak out, because I get anxious too, because sometimes it's like I'll work on something, and I'll be like, and then I'll get stressed out, because it's happened to me like a couple weeks ago where I was working really hard, and like I was frustrated because I'm like, I'm working on another story with a character named Farin Everine, and like this is like the 8th story now I've worked on recently for this video series that has nobody has any idea about any of the other things, and nobody knows about any of this shit. And it's like, what stressed me out when I was laying in bed is like, nobody knows about it. Nobody, like, you've been working on all these stories and no one knows about them. And it's like, that's okay. They're part of a big series. It's what you wanted to do is you wanted to make a multi-part series that sort of tied in a bunch of stories together to show how big the world was, so that people could see how big the world was, and then make it actually feel big. So we're showing all these characters and their interactions and how they affect the greater whole of this big story. It's not going to be easy. Don't stress out. And because it does get stressful at times working on it, you know? It's like, Jesus Christ, I'm writing like another story with another set of characters that need art. That is like, we have to raise money to get their art done. We gotta get Everine and their art done. I've got somebody right now, like in Fish, working on the panels for it right now. And it's the first part of the second lore series stuff that we're working on, because we have one team working on the other. I'm working on this one, and I've been bouncing back and forth. But I think I shouldn't have bounced back and forth, but I needed to at the same time. I don't know. Like, a part of me is like, it did stress me out doing what I did, because it's like, yeah, that's a lot of work. But it's like, I should have done this, and I needed to do it at the same time, because laying the groundwork now has given me so much of an edge over, like, when the production team is going to catch up to where I am now. Like, right now, they're a little bit behind me, and that's good. But instead of continuing to work on where I was, I just jumped over to this section. I was like, okay, let's get this started, so I get this laid out, so I get the groundwork laid out, and all the infrastructure set up. But I stressed myself up. I got a little bit of a fucking like anger thing of myself, because I'm like, fuck, you're working on this shit. Nobody's even seen the other stuff. And this is like the 8th story of these other story arcs that are all acting at different points in this thing that are interconnected. And it's like the other one's not even out yet. And it's like, yeah, no, that's not. And it's like, focus, you know, things will be done when they are. And what I hope to impart by telling you this, chat, is that it can be stressful when you're working on your own indie projects or stuff, or like your own personal projects. It can be. It seems like a daunting task. But the important thing is to never stop working on it. And so hopefully I hope that helps you guys with your stuff. Let's see. Casifix asks, this is a tangent to the current topic, but when will Star Sector happen? It will happen as soon as the thumbnail is done. Absolutely. I am just waiting. Well, actually, so as soon as the thumbnail's done and I have a free day to do it, right? Because technically I have to finish this week's schedule, because I didn't get time to do that, because I've basically been kind of overworking a bit. But that's because it had to be done the last couple of days. I had to do it because we had a new team member, because our good friend Tyler, who basically was there to help me found this, he's got family now, and it's very hard for him to actually work on the project. So much so that he's not really able to work on anymore. Hence why the website, as you know, is stagnated. And I can talk about this now because I actually was able to talk to him proper. And so Indio reached out to me and gave us a new guy by the name of Belko. Nice dude, very nice dude. And he's actually taking over the programming for the website because Tyler's gonna basically just, he's got family stuff. And I don't want to hold him back because he's my best friend. Hell, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And like I told him, the door will always be open to him because he was always supporting of me and supportive of me. But life takes you in different directions, But yeah, we needed to get Belko acquainted with the studio because Belko's resuming the website production. And so now he's drafting up the new concept art for the new overhaul to our website, which is going to be a massive change from where it is now. And yes, all the models that are waiting to be uploaded will be uploaded. If you need them now and you paid for them and you don't want to wait for the update to the website, just contact Baffios directly. I told him to hand out any files that have yet to be uploaded so that you guys can have it right now, so you don't have to wait. But yeah, so that's been happening. Let's see. I asked another question earlier, Kibbs. Let's say someone inspired by you and have an idea for a race or civilization for a game or story and want feedback. Would you offer it? I would offer my feedback, but what usually happens is I get people who get upset at me. So I always wish that somebody would be brutally honest to me and tell me exactly things how as they were. My favorite feedback I ever got was from the people who told me what I was doing was impossible and would never get as far as it got. In fact, I remember talking to one the day, a person in real life, and holy shit, how the fuck did you do that? It's well, honestly, I don't really know. It's just a series of things that just sort of ended up leading this way. But it's because I never really gave up on it and I kept working on it, and people see that and they get inspired and they actually help you. Because I do believe people are good people. Humanity is awesome for a reason. Yes, there are assholes among us, but you know what? That just is what it is. You can't cry over a few broken egg. What the fuck is this?
Every broken egg.
Oh my god.
We're making the mother fall off.
But yeah, if people want to ask for feedback about their settings, they can when I have time to talk to them about it. And no, don't pay me for consulting or feedback. I will do that when I have free time without asking for money. Because that's stupid. That's dumb. But bear in mind that I will talk to you in private about it because that's probably for the best. Because usually I want to keep my stuff separate from anyone else's stuff because my IP in my sphere is my IP in my sphere. But if you have your own personal projects and you would like to talk to me or ask for feedback on them, you can. Bear in mind I will be honest, and this has burned bridges, but I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about it based on my interpretations. And if you prove me wrong, there's no shame in that. In fact, I actually hope you're successful if I say that it doesn't look like it's very good or whatever. I never wish ill on anyone's setting, but what annoys me is that when I asked this to somebody, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want to shame them here, but when I told them my honest opinions about their setting, and I asked for clarification, I'm going to tell you honestly how I feel, and I don't want you to get upset at me, and I don't want this to ruin our our rapport we have. But I'm going to tell you, if you really want my feedback, I'm not going to lie to you. And then I did, and then that upset them, and now they don't talk to me anymore. And it really pisses me off because it's at no point does me saying that mean that I hope it fails. It's just I think that there are some fundamental issues. I'm not going to say any more than that with the direction of this, and this is my honest opinion. And if it's wrong, okay, great, it's wrong. If my advice helps, then great. If it doesn't and you don't want to use it, you don't have to. But don't cut off contact from me because I have a different opinion. It just really upsets me when they do that. And so that's why I'm going to be very clear that I'm going to be honest with you because I don't want to lie to people. I've always thought that cornerstone of honesty is an important, integral part of our community. And I genuinely tell you guys everything I can tell you without going too far, if that makes sense. Because honesty is important. It's a relationship that you have to maintain. And that's why it really upsets me when people don't tell you honestly or straightly. Or they tell you that, yeah, it's fine, and then in reality it wasn't. Because it's well, you lied to me. No, just the noise. Annoys me.
I remember a very distinct scene from a show Bucky would want to mention. In Rick and Morty, there was the Purge episode, which is just an entire meme itself. There was a character that wanted to show Morty his little screenplay. Morty read it, said it wasn't very good, and the guy got really offended, even though he's like the only person not participating in the slaughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get you. I get you, little kitten. You're like, meow. It just meows at us. Little weirdo, little freak, little abomination.
I think people most often are looking for when they ask for criticism. They're asking for, what's good about my work?
They only want to hear the good, and they never want to hear the ugly bits. We'll just have Robin stream in the background. It's good background for you. Oh no, Robin's not on his keyboard in this part. He's escaped.
Just a share.
He's escaped.
Chibinski.
He's just crawling around somewhere. Oh, he's got one of those pop filters. Okay, I didn't even notice that until now.
Do you remember when Robin used to chug whole pitchers of water?
I'm glad he doesn't after that last time where he drank too much
Yes,
water.
he got water poisoning, so he doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, thank God. Don't drink too much water, chat, because you can actually kill yourself by doing that by accident. Water is poisonous if you drink too much of it.
It's not poisonous. It starts fucking with your blood.
Yep, and then you have a fucking seizure and you collapse. Let's see. Alright, let's see.
You know, Gibbs doesn't drink water. He drinks soda.
Right now I'm drinking Gatorade. Blue
Which
Gatorade.
is basically soda.
Whoa, whoa. That's another question. Let's say, yeah, okay, answer that. Also, Kibbs, you are your own worst enemy. Just look where you are now. You got here with effort and people wanting to help you. Make it happen. Just keep working at it, and it will happen one day. Yep. Honestly, yeah, no, I agree. I agree with what you're saying there. It's difficult sometimes because when you see the other indie studios, right? So the big thing that always plagues my mind usually is that I'll look at Star Citizen, right? Because I'm like, they've been working about as long as I have on my own thing. Granted, they have like way more resources than I have, but despite that, it's like looking at it and it's like they're nowhere near release, right? And you look, and then I look at my thing and I'm like, I'm not even nearly as far as they are, and they had a lot more. Yes, they did have a lot more money, right? But it's still the thought, right? And you're like, God damn. But the thing that gives me hope is when I look over and see Factorio Dev, or I look over and see fucking Project Zomboid, and those stories where, yes, this does taken a very long time, or Songs of Six, things that have taken very long times, but they are coming somewhere, and they are continuing to work on it. I just want to reach the stage in which I can put something out into your hands, so that you can start to touch it to become tangible. But the crux of my issue, it always boils down to, if I push something out when it's not fully developed and fully realized, because ours is heavily, it's not gameplay mechanically focused, like a lot of those games are, because all those are mechanics focused. Ours is narrative focused. And so with the crux of that issue is like, okay, well, if I push it out too quickly, I'll actually ruin your experience and ruin the actual, like, your experience of it. And like, for new people, they won't even know, right? Because they'll just play it as it is. I could tell you more about the story and like expose more about it. I could tell you the whole story. I'm pretty confident you guys would actually enjoy hearing about it. I think many of you would like it quite a bit. But if I do that, I'll have ruined it for so many people. And so that is the big thing, right? And it'll also ruin it and sabotage it for the team. Because if you know and you didn't earn that reveal, that information, or those reveals, I guess you could say, then the discovery process isn't as fun for you, you know? I envy you. You guys are going to get to see it in a way I wish I could. That's something that I personally wish I could have done myself, but couldn't due to whatever rhyme or reason. Well, because, you know, not rhyme or reason, more because I wrote it. Welcome to stream, little rat bastard. I like that name. I think that's what it said.
Bastard.
I think it was on Twitch. I saw it on the pop-up thing. Yeah, I'm a little wet bastard. Was that here, or did I read that somewhere else? Or did I... Wait, am I reading fucking Robin's thing. I'm getting myself confused.
Yes, I think you're reading Robin's thing.
Oh my god.
So I don't think
I
Rapbastard.
I
is a chat
relapsed.
member.
I relapsed, I think, just now. Okay.
You've also become a reaction streamer because you're reacting to Robin's video. Stream.
Well, I fund Robin, so technically his content is my content.
Robin, you have become property of me, kid.
Me, Kib. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, let's see. You don't drink at all, Kibs? Yeah, I do. Well, yeah, water. Water.
Yeah, I do.
Actually, water. Gatorade has water in it. It's mostly water, in fact. Gotcha.
Electrolytes.
Well, the end of the
sugar.
day has come, and I must head home. Good luck and drive safe, little Cassie Fish. Frederick Fish says,
Cassie
how much
Fish.
water do you need for it to hurt? I drank a ton of water sometime, and I just had to go piss more than usual. Quite a bit. It also helps whether or not you're sweating and your body's processing water. So if you're like when I was working construction, the amount of Gatorade and water I went through was insane. To the point where if I drank it now, I'd get water poisoning. Which, that's because your body's processing the water, and the water's like expulsing through your body through sweating. The big revival.
Speaking of
is
$2, the big revival is we were Krubs all along.
revival. Taking this boat.
Vibe. I think big is to 6.
And thank you for the donation. Ophi says, I like competitive noodles. Alright, chat. I think I've wandered through the entire AKA. I know this wasn't on a weekend, so I didn't catch all the bucket fishies, but I think I did a good job here. This will at least satiate Chatfish's desires because our weekends are so jam-packed for the foreseeable future as we get through these paid requests.
You could also answer questions in the comments if you.
I will if I
leave
get
those.
time to look at them. I'm not going to guarantee or promise anything. Because I do respond to comments, usually. It's just, sometimes it'll be like a week later. Or sometimes I'll read it and I'll be like, okay, well that wasn't really anything to respond to. It was just a statement. It's just looking at you, Decompresso. You and your thumbs ups. I appreciate them. I see them all the time. They bury all their comments because they happen so often. Alright, chat. Is there any other questions that Chatfish would like to ask about anything? Doesn't need to be about the game. I know we shift to the game a lot because the game is like the central part of what is a Kib. Any specific questions? Hell, does Chat have any questions about Celeste? Yeah, maybe?
Is she canonically evil?
I can't answer that question. That's why I was joking about the I can't answer any questions about a character and like their fucking motivations unless it's like a specific thing about like something. Like, does Celeste like cake? Well, actually, yeah, she probably would actually like cake. She probably like ice cream too. She also probably like cookies. She would like candy. She would like a lot of things. There's very little foods that Celeste wouldn't eat. She's kind of like a garbage compactor,
Would
I
she
guess.
eat people?
If she knew it was a person, probably not.
But if she didn't,
Does Celeste like Ria's hairstyle?
Oh.
She thinks Ria's very pretty. She also thinks Aya and Nez are also very pretty, but that's all I can say. Like visually.
which is her favorite besides Aya? Because Aya is supposed to be her. Can't say that actually. Because wait, I think you've already said it.
I think Squealer should shut the fuck up.
I should.
I always feel bad for having to say that, Squealer. Don't make me say that. I like making.
You said it regardless.
Yeah, I have to. You leave me no choice, Squealy.
You're just a bully. Big old kid bully.
I think you're the bully. Is that an old stream of Robin? A couple days. It's a Swede boy. Sandra points and screams. Like, ah! He's scared of Swedes. He's scared of Swedes.
Makes sense.
The central plot twist is that Celeste is a Krub. Kibbs can prove me. See, the problem is, Spider Pig, is you're kind of like Decompresso. You built your entire identity around a fictitious entity. You built your What was Spider Pig before the Krub?
You know, he was a spider pig.
Do you even? Yeah, true. He built his entire identity around that. Oh my God, he just
Which is a
moved from,
Simpsons joke.
he's just moved from thing to thing. But Celeste shaved the side of her head. Well, I'm gonna answer that one because that one's pretty easy. No, we're not doing modern haircuts. Period. The thing Triple O has joined. Fell off for the last 6 months. How's life been? Well, I'm glad to see you're back. Good to see you. I hope you're doing okay. Because 6 months is a long time. But, yeah. Doing good. Doing pretty damn good, honestly. At least I think so. Feels like I am. It's not probably. It's not But yeah, I'm not a big fan of modern haircuts. I just think I think modern hairstyle and fashion is just like an amalgamation of dead fashions from the past that weren't good and that are somehow shifted back into central focus again. Haircuts being the one of them, especially the empowered female side haircut.
I kind of want
shave.
the 90s haircut to come in. That one looks nice.
Some of them.
Some of them. But
I'm very picky.
a woman with long hair, like nice long hair too. Bang.
Will the Aerith
Right.
model return to the stream? What do you mean? This is the Aerith model. This is the Christmas one. The new one is in development right now, the 4.0.
We're supposed to be using it longer than Christmas lasts because that's how Christmas decorations work.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Grubs. Yep. See, look at him. He just crub obsessed. You learned something new about crub lore, by the way, today. You're welcome. I gave you that lore chat. What are you gonna do with it? What 90s? We the 1990s or the 1890s? I like to think I've made Depresso my own thing, Kibbs. Actually, I don't necessarily think so. However, I think something else has actually happened. That's also positive, little decompresso. I think you're kind of your own identity. And you've actually not let the decompresso, or what do you call it? The
Depresso.
The Depresso really become you. Rather, you just like to use its iconography. You're your own little person. And I've read your posts, and I actually stalk you little chatfish in the comments in the Discord. Because I read what you guys are typing about. I don't really join the conversations, mostly because I've already bitten off more than I can chew. But I normally go in there and tease you occasionally, or at least one of you, or several of you, by calling you bucket bitchies, or something like that. Or something like that. Or calling you chubby.
Some kind of
Or
bucket
calling you
bitch.
I find it highly amusing. I like to think I've made Depresso. Yeah, I read that. Sure ding Depresto. Oh. I am currently watching Twin Peaks, and the early 90s hairstyles are nice. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, chat.
Yeah.
Alright, I think it's time. By the way, we can carry over, because it seems like the questions are starting to trickle, so I think I've gotten through the bulk of the main ones. I do know that some of you who are looking at this VOD were like, but I wasn't here for it. I know. I plan on doing a second one around the weekend time on a different day. Maybe on a different week even. Maybe next week. Because that way you can actually, get your questions answered too. Because not everybody's available every day. Or at every time. Because, the people that show up in like 6 p.m., around 6 p.m. to 5 p.m., U.S. Central, like, they missed out on this entirely. And I know that, and don't worry, we'll do ones later too. So that everybody gets a chance. But we
We
got
can do an
this,
AKA
this
tomorrow later in the day.
We could. Maybe. I think I should space them out a bit more, though. Mr. Bob, we don't even joke about that anymore. Mostly because I don't entertain that joke. That's actually a dangerous joke to say in the modern world. And for your own protection, I'm deleting it. But I'm not going to respond to that. We'll let Chatfishy decide what we'll do. We'll pick some pumpy games. Games that I like, that are old, and don't require me to think at all. Don't require... Ah, yes. What else? The problem is there's too many games that require working.
My internet's been pretty good today. If you wanted to do something co-op.
Not today. Well, I need to know that a little bit in advance.
Also, actually, then again, it is like 4:35, and I have to go make dinner.
Yep.
And, walk dogs.
Yeah, I was also looking at the clock. Skittles. That's why I was picking something single player that doesn't require me to think. And then we can continue that series too. This will be, it's a bit later, but maybe if chat fishies want. Boom, boom. I'm picking things that can allow me to talk a bit more. Dynasty Warriors isn't really. The reason why I put a lot of RTSs on there is because these particular ones have great deals of silence, or the game has silence, meaning I can engage with you guys more directly. They're easier to stream for me. What does Radical Nerd say? Based as fuck. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who's based as fuck? Squealy? God forbid. No. God forbid. Squid. We're picking something slow today. Something slower to match today's tempo. A slow and relaxing day with Chatfishies, yes. That will allow Chatfishies to breathe and wriggle. Yes, of course. I've been in my kitchen seasoning pork chops while listening to you guys. Well, where's my pork chops? He's like, they're mine. Mine. We start nibbling on his pork chops, stealing them. When I make pork chops, I usually like a little bit of Famous Dave's. I like the Devil Spit Famous Dave's with pork chops or ribs. Devil Spit Famous Dave sauce is good. What do you like, Squealy? What barbecue sauce?
Barbecue sauce?
Yeah. My dad really likes Sweet Baby Ray's.
I have a variety. I like honey barbecue.
Honey? Honey barbecue?
Yeah.
Yeah, honey barbecue's nice. Yeah.
What about you, Bucky? Mr. Buckstar himself? Buck and C. Deutsch, as we like to call you.
You know, what kind of barbecue sauce do you like on pork chops?
Pork chops?
Yeah.
It depends. One of the tried and true ones is like Sweet Baby Ray's sweet and spicy.
Sweet Baby Ray's is good. It's always a safe bet.
The sweet and spicy one, not like the other ones.
Mm-hmm. I also like a Devil's Spit, the Famous Dave's one. That's good
Yeah,
too.
I mean, you could always go like Cholula or Sriracha. If you really wanted to like mix things up a little.
Cholula works. Cholula's normally when I make something Hispanic themed. Cholula's really good. Probably one of the best like spicy sauces for like Mexican dishes. If that's what I'm thinking of. That's got the lady on the cover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
orange, like reddish orange. And the Sriracha has like the fucking chicken on the front of it.
Chickens.
Well, okay.
That's not me in the fucking screen. That's our programmer, Rubinsky. I have a beard, and I need to
He
shave
looks like a
badly.
boomer.
He is a boomer.
He has
Hey,
the
little
haircut
scout.
that they said doesn't exist
Boomer
anymore.
Robin.
Who said that didn't exist anymore?
Apparently, the Resident Evil people that were gonna make shit for that.
Yeah, the Resident Evil, like, nobody has
Yeah.
haircuts like that anymore. And then, meanwhile, I'm just staring at Robin, like, staring at Robin. Like, he does. There's the fucking Leon haircut right there. He's got it.
Matt Blinkenbaker donates $20 to put this to Insaniquarium. Deluxe feed chatfish. What?
So, Kibbs, instead of
Explain
playing
that, Matt.
some boring game,
Chatfish can influence this one. This one isn't a freebie one today. My Blanket
I'm
Bucket
gonna
donates $20 and says, put this to Insane Aquarium.
I already read it.
Deluxe feed fish. I've never heard about that.
I have no idea what the fuck is.
Yeah. Send me a DM about that, Blanket Bucket. I'm curious. Sounds like
why
a
does that
fish
not let
game.
me click that button.
Angry Ham. Look out. Oh, ham. My family's got this amazing recipe. If we ever do like a potluck, I'm gonna steal the show. I'm gonna use our family's recipe. You're gonna
Can't
love
steal
it.
show, Kibbs. She's not in the U.S.
Oh my god, I said steal the show.
Yeah, the show. Yeah,
SHOW.
The goblin herself.
yeah.
Just go to Vietnam, abduct show. You know, no big deal. No big deal. Fucking what the fuck?
So Dynasty Warriors is what it looks like it's gonna be.
So Gibbs, how serious were you about the Space Engineers 1 community event server? I talked to it briefly. There were some people that said I shouldn't do Space Engineers 1 and said that we should wait and see for 2. Their argumentation, and I'm not entirely sure, it really depends on how many people are interested, but their argumentation was that the net coding stability of the first one is pretty bad, but I'm like, well, if we... Yeah, okay, so if we go far away, that might do that, but if we do like a themed event where we have to build a base together and build a ship and then get to a planet, and we set like objectives, Space Engineers could be really cool. They do need way better PvE stuff though, because like you have to have like bases or things to blow up. Because Space Engineers is pretty cool. That whole accidentally smacking into the planet thing, that was brilliant. I love that. Fucked up my entire ship, fucked up my car, fucked up everything. Fucked up. But yeah, the physics of Space Engineers 2 is pretty good. It's gonna need more time to cook, sadly. A lot more time. It's very alpha right now. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It really just depends, Sandy Pandy. If you've got ideas, go ahead and shoot me DMs on them. Bear in mind it'll have to add to the what we call the free roadmap in my list, because I do play requests and that aren't always funded that I visit. Like we did Generals a little bit yesterday for Chatfish that wanted it, so everybody gets a crack, so to speak. Oh my god.
Everybody gets a cheek.
Alright, so you've really seen this, but I'm sending this to Artemis. This is something that's being developed by Bino right now. There you go. Chatfish can't see it yet. He's working on his L piece right now. You know how this is gonna go down. I like how it's
Jesus.
animated.
That's. There's so many good ways to.
He's taking it in
Have that.
stride.
Yeah.
He's putting a lot of good effort into it. So, like, the fact that chat beat up Bino on the argument and he has to make the L piece is actually pretty funny. And Bino, to his credit, is actually being pretty honorable about this. He's actually giving chat a pretty good fucking deal out of that one. Are you in a wheelchair, asked Mr. Mackey? Me? No. Why is my chair squeaking? This chair shouldn't squeak. It's brand new.
Pretty sure it's Bucky's chair.
We have some community members who are wheelchair bound, but like, I myself am not.
No. Kibbs has half the time uses a ball of some type.
Exercise ball? Yeah, it's over there. I sometimes sit on that one, but you can't sit on that for too long because it's actually bad for your joints. But it's good for you to do occasionally. Helps break up what you're sitting on a little bit because it can be a little boring to sit in a chair.
Kibbs, anything you sit on breaks up.
Because you weigh a lot.
I'm gonna start screaming.
Fatty.
You're hurting my feelings. I will kidnap show for KeebCon. What the fuck? I would be careful how you word that, Spider-Pig. That sounds very creepy. I know that you're not trying to be creepy. You're trying to be funny. I know that, but like the rest of the world might not. Let's see. Mr. Bob says, have you played any of the Cossack series, Kibbo? Yes, I have. My favorite Cossack style game from GSC is American Conquest. I know it's a spin-off, but American Conquest is awesome because you play as like the Spaniards or like the Americans, and then you just blast the everything crap out of the natives. And it's just kind of funny. Okay? It's just the regular Cossacks series is fun because it's based in Europe, but what I liked about American Conquest is that it's like the conquest of America, and it's actually quite cool. I just wish they would make a new version of that. Instead, they made Cossacks 3. Cossacks 3 is cool, but But I would have preferred American Conquest 2 or something. Let's see. A lot of base things happening in the world today, Chet. I feel like there's optimism and hope. Let's see. Have you played any of the Yep, I read that. Him formatting code by hand triggers me greatly. Well, you can go to his streams and tell him about it and see what he says. I'd be very interested to know how he reacts. Peasant Thought says, Kibbs, do you like very sleek and aesthetic Asian-style mechs? If you do, you should play Xenosaga or Zone of the Enders. I have played Zone of the Enders for the Game Boy SP, and it was really cool. I've not played the actual console release of it. The Game Boy SP version is really fun. At least I remember loving that one. Mission to Mars or something it's called. I think. I still haven't forgiven you for killing the squeaky chair. It's not killed, it's over there. Now when Hans visits, he gets to use that as the guest chair. It's a really nice chair, but it is squeaky as fuck.
You're only doing that because it makes him sound fat.
Owie, owie. I actually pinched a nerve in my thigh. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. Nope. Still hurts. Oh, it stings a little. All right, so Mr. Mackey says some stuff. See, when I think of Mr. Mackey, I think of the school counselor from my school.
Oh, I think of fucking South Park, but okay.
Yeah, we had a school counselor named Mr. Mackey.
Kib's just looking up his fucking.
Did he realize that he
I
was
remember
also
that too.
a South Park character?
I'm like, oh my god, it's just weird that I'd be like, that'd be fucking nuts if he was actually watching our streams. That might be a little upsetting.
Yeah.
He was actually pretty based though, because he actually would like play games with us and stuff. Because we would bring like thumb drives. Because what I started doing is I brought a thumb drive with games loaded on it, and that inspired other people. And then other people shared these games that I had not seen before, like Quake Arena, because that was my first experience with Quake 3 Arena. It was an old game, or Return to Castle Wolfenstein, because I had
Checks
not
out.
actually played those until I met those guys. And then we were doing like multiplayer games of them, because all the computers are connected part of a local area network. We basically turned the computer lab into local area network time for gaming and whatnot. We got yelled at originally, but Mr. Mackey actually stepped in and actually let us play those violent games. Because it's like, it's fine, it's just Quake. And they're like, because the old ladies were angry that we're using the PCs to play video games. Mr. Mackey was pretty goddamn based. I fragged him plenty. He's pretty good, but not as good as Kib. Let's see. That was a blast from the past, honestly. Jesus Christ. I miss LAN parties. The idea of like massive amounts of computers all in a room connected to a local area network to do like big community events is really awesome. I actually miss the cultural era of that. Well, yes, it's cool that like Artemis and we can and Gay can play games together, right?
Fuck you.
Like over the
It's
internet.
kinda gay.
I
Why would you
kind of
say
wish
that?
that local area network parties were still like a thing.
They are still thing Kibs. For like 30 and 40-year-olds.
What we should do is we should do a System Link party for Xbox Halo 2, the original. That would be fucking crazy. I think 360 has System Link capabilities too, technically. That would be kind of nutty. And then get only fucking goddamn TVs that make our eyes hurt. Yes, the big tube shitty ones. Come on. That sounds. I think they're sitting there in silence, like
The CRTV kind?
the one that kicks out a lot of heat. Yeah.
Because there's the CRTV, there's the projector screen TV. It also kicks out a lot of heat. It really depends on which one you want.
Whichever one gives a fuzzy picture that's gonna hurt our eyes.
I think everything hurts your eyes, doesn't it?
Well, just existing, I guess.
Yeah, that black mold in your apartment.
There better not be. I'll be super upset. I'll be super. Also, welcome to Stream Unexpected. Alright, I think I'm finally through all the questions again. Thank God. We did it, chat. We're free. It's on Steam now. Well, I could check it out. I've never played Zone of the Enders for... I honestly didn't even know there was another game. I knew about it, but I never knew about it recently. If that makes sense. Because I recently found out that Zone of the Enders had another game that was 3D, and then I also found out that the Game Boy version was actually a spin-off, and it wasn't actually part of the main thing. I thought it was just a Game Boy game. Just very different illusion. The only thing that was weird about the combat system is that all you had to do was fly in a circle, if I remember right. Like, if you just make circles, like, you could dodge all the attacks. Because you had to, like, aim at the targets to shoot them. Because whenever you'd, like, do an attack, and then you have to hit them, because they'd, like, bounce around the screen, and then you hit them, and then that's how the combat... It was kind of interesting. Did you check out Paraworld trailer yet? It's 2006. I love it. I think... Did you send it to me in DMs, Prav? I don't think so. Shoot me a DM. Bucket boy. He's a bucket boy. Why is Preguline gay now, though? Well, gay, you want to explain? What
I
happened?
made a bet with chat, and they were lazy, so they didn't, fund. Oh shit. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yes.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear you.
So the reason why that happened was because I put my name change to the poll in Dynasty Warriors regarding which faction leader we would go with. I said if Chafish made Liu Bei win, they could change my name, and the leaders of that can change my name. And so now I'm gay.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with your name change?
How does that make the chat lazy and gay when they actually did it?
Because they were really, really into fucking Lu Bu, not Lu Bu, fucking Cow Cow. But like, nah, just let Liu Bei win.
Squealy, I feel some historical revisionism's going on here, because they were fighting pretty hard for Liu Bei. They were almost exhausted in that Dona War. I think you're just upset about the fact that they won, even if they won only by a little bit. It was a close one, yes, but they still won, Squealy. So you can be upsetty spaghetti all you fucking want, but you're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
gay. That's
I'm only
pretty...
gay in name, you're gay in lifestyle.
Insane Aquarium, that looks very, very nutty. That also looks like a mobile game, I'm not gonna lie to you. On Steam or
Does it look
elsewhere.
like that?
Okay. I mean, if that's what you want to fund, then so be it, so be it. And perhaps sent me Paraworld, okay. He wants to show the trailer to the little bucket fishies. Let us take a look. Little baby bucket fishies, where are you? We've got some champish to tickle.
Baby bucket fishies, brown and fat. We got something to do now.
We might need to mute the music. Oh, that's looking a little old. Okay, I'm getting it. It's like a sort of prehistoric RTS, gotcha. Where it's got like dinosaurs, sort of like woolly mammoths. Nice. It's got generic white hero dude, like looking character. That means it's obviously fucking good. That's usually what that means. Usually what that was at least that way with that Rise of Legends game. Generic haircut fucking white dude character protag, which obviously means it's gonna be gold. 9 times out of 10. That's always how it be. It's got some slightly tan Arabian girl, you know.
Slightly.
I've never seen this RTS. But the name sounds familiar. I don't think I've ever seen the visuals. The visual quality of this is very, very poor. Very poor. Nice blood effects. We've got some animations. Damn, that's straight out of like Dawn of War. Okay, he's got a fucking boomstick. You know he's the base character. I might have to check this out. That looks pretty fucking cool. As soon as I saw the boomstick, I immediately thought, oh my god, Army of Darkness.
This is my boomstick.
Yes. Because YouTube compression. I mean, it's also a trailer from like 2006. So trailers back then didn't need to be of the highest quality because monitors and stuff weren't of the highest quality at that point. People were still using the box monitors at that point as well, if I remember right. It's inspired by Dinotopia. Oh. Now I'm a little iffy on it. Dinotopia was kind of cringe. Not only playing was that game was god awful, and I hope to God chat never ever makes me do that again. Is that it's also communist propaganda. But I assume you just mean the idea and the concept of like dinosaurs and like ancient cultures, but interacting in a modern world kind of thing. Right? Yeah, I'm just gonna go on a limb and assume that's what you mean, chat bros. Now, Chatfish. Looks like nobody's donated for the poll. The poll has been allowed to, what do you call it? Mature, I guess you could say.
Fester.
Fester. I'd say cook. We let it cook. And it seems like Chatfishies want to see that Dynasty Warriors series completed, which is based. Completing an ongoing series, chat. It shows that Chatfish have commitment. They have commitment issues, though, because 33% Shogun do. China. Oh, wait, no, that's Japan. Oops. That's Japan.
Nippon.
Shogun 2 is a classic. But Dynasty Warriors also ain't nothing to sneeze at. Alright, chat. For those who just showed up, any final questions? If not, we're gonna wriggle on over. Dinotopia is hippie, not communists. What's the difference?
Kibbs, what
What?
chimichanga were you gonna make?
Chimichanga?
Yeah, what was the food you were gonna make?
Chimichanga? What do you mean?
Chimichanga.
No, you made the
Nacho
sandwich.
That's pretty good. I
thought
need
you
to
were making
tweak that
I thought-
recipe a little.
I thought you were making something else.
I could make chimichangas. Oh, I was making a pizza chimichanga for using Chow Chow's recipe.
Oh, okay. Well, that was what I was asking when I mentioned chimichanga.
But I'm gonna try my suggestion to Chow Chow because what he does is he wraps the pepperonis in it. It's basically just a pizza rolled up as like a chimichanga. But the difference I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pre-cook the pepperonis first so that they get a little crispy, so that they curl upwards a little to get that crunch.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna put them in there and then roll it up with the marinara and the cheese, if I remember right. I gotta read the recipe one more time. But yeah.
Gotcha.
That way it has a bit more crisper texture, because one thing he said that the pepperonis had a tendency to be a little soggy. It's like, well, that's one way to resolve that. Why do you ask?
No reason.
It's Chow
Don't worry
Chow's
about it.
recipe. Why? You want to try
Don't
it?
worry about it. No.
No. Wow.
I'm gonna eat pizza the American way.
The American way? What's that mean? Is this a deep dish we're
Fucking-
talking?
No, like a normal pizza.
Deep dish is American. It's a pie. It's fucking amazing.
Kibbs, you like your pies deep.
Chicago deep dish is pretty good. Oh, she's still coping and seething. That's okay. We can't all be perfect, like me. That's good. She's very upset, by the way. She's
Professional hater.
Your recipes do not spark joy. Mine are better. Once I perfect the nacho sandwich, you'll all be begging for me to share
You
it.
all rule the day. Rule the day, I tell you.
But the things I'm going to be changing with it is, I'm not sure. Maybe first I was thinking sour cream and green chilies, but now I'm thinking a little bit of cream cheese, and then basically use that to make my own queso. Yes,
Cream
This-
cheese queso.
combining it a little, just a hair,
Just a smidge.
just a smidge of it. Yes, mix it in with the queso and the cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar, which will create a stronger what do you call it? Structure, a little less gooey. That way it doesn't run all over the place. And then mix in some green chilies to it. Yes, I think that will really bring the
Bond
flavor.
says it sounds like your gut will be begging for mercy too.
What? Nah, I can eat almost anything. I've got an iron gut.
Cube chicken.
That didn't make me have any gut problems. That just made me sad.
That made
Unironically.
you ill, like as in mentally.
Yeah,
Ew.
spiritually, the cube chicken made me spiritually broken as a human being. Eating it made me sad, to the point where I was feeling sad during the days and actually going to bed a little depressed. When I stopped eating it, I immediately went to bed feeling happy and feeling not sad anymore. Like unironically, because I had basically when I first moved out, I'm like, what if I cut my food spending to the absolute bare minimum and try to eat as economical as possible so that I can invest more into the project. And while it did help increase the amount I could invest in the project, it wasn't worth it at all because emotionally and like on a like spiritual level, I don't even know what to call it, like on a morale level, I was so upset about the cube chicken that I felt sad. Like I was sitting there and I felt sad. And I was eating it and I felt sad.
The cube chicken of sadness.
I felt sad. And I found that if you're sad, your productivity lowers. You're sad. I
Oh,
was
yeah?
genuinely sad for the
Is
like
this
month
why
I
the-
ate cube chicken. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
What was the size of the bag you bought?
It was a massive like family size pack for like incredibly a decent deal. I was like, oh my God, this is like 2 pounds of chicken.
This
And
is an amazing deal.
No, I must go.
it was a bad
I
deal.
want Kibbs to eat cube chicken again and tell us how fucking sad he is on.
It was supposed to be popcorn chicken, but I called it cube chicken because there was no popcorn on it or anything like that. It was just
on.
cubes of
Hold on.
chicken that was kind of gooey.
Hold on. Kibbs?
Hmm.
When you think of popcorn chicken, do you imagine there's actual popcorn on the
No,
chicken?
it's breaded.
Okay, then why would
It's
you, why were you
popcorn
asking
chicken
for-
because it's like it's easy to eat like popcorn is the idea.
Okay, then why were you why were you at
I expected it to be have breading.
on the chicken?
I don't think there was a single bit of breading in that entire fucking bag. It was just
What if Kibbs?
gooey, cartilagey
Kibbs?
chicken.
Kibbs, what if they expected you to I don't
Bread
know,
it yourself?
bread it? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what that would have done? Nothing. It still sucked. It's still. And the picture, it said it was breaded. So no, that I remember the bag because it was a blue, light blue, like text on like a white bag with a picture of what looked like really good popcorn chicken, and it wasn't. It tasted terrible. It was gooey. It had cartilage in it. I tried to eat it so that I didn't waste chat's money on it. It was only like $8, and I have no idea
Yeah.
why I put myself through such fucking headache for $8. For a month, I tried to eat that, and for a month, I felt sad. Felt sad.
You know what, Kibbs? If you don't make this week's goal, I'm gonna prerequisite cube chicken is the requirement for you to make.
I'm
the week
hoping that
goal.
that was just a fuck up. If I ever have popcorn
No.
chicken again, it was just never happen. Like in a million years.
I think I'm gonna force you to go find it and buy the cube chicken again.
Like, and the reason why I call it cube chicken, it was squares.
I
Chat.
know.
I'm telling chat, like, it was squares of gooey cartilage because that's what it tastes like after baking it, or like cooking it in whatever ways I've tried. Because I tried
I
even using
tried.
oil to cook it so that it would like fry it a little, and like that didn't work. It's still just gooey and sad. I tried burning them, and it was still gooey. Like the outside was burnt, but the inside was goo. So it was goo. Oh, it was gross. It was miserable. I think I wanted to end my life the entire day. I think it hurt the entire month.
Is it?
$8 for 2 pounds of chicken? Was it? I don't remember. I'm paraphrasing what I thought it was. Okay, I don't really remember. Well, if the cancer candy hurts your mouth, how about swapping it for a certain amount of cube chicken? I think I'll take my Mega Sour Barnett's over that. Cube chicken, at least Mega Sours, I don't feel sad afterwards. My tongue just feels
That's
numb.
a great idea, Kibbs. You should try it right now.
I will. But how about we do that in the Dynasty Warriors stream?
Dynasty Warriors. What if I just paid for us to do Call of Duty Ghosts?
Did you?
No. I
Are,
said, what if?
well, then we'll do that. Are you? This is your last
No.
chance. Yeah, there. Answered that question, didn't we? We're doing Dynasty Warriors.
How much do I have to pay for it?
Chatfish. I was like, what should I ask Chatfish? Like, how much do you think? Chatfish, how much? You know what? Fuck it. How much does Chatfish think Bucky should have to pay for Call of Duty Ghosts? How much? How much do you wager, chat? The daily goal?
I'm not paying the daily goal.
I'm joking. I'll put everyone's numbers in a poll and then we'll have it vote. So if somebody puts $1 in there, they can literally put $1 in there. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking The first 4 numbers I see 3 so far. Okay. Nope, that's just a repeat. Bond just copied and stole someone else's answer. Okay, there's 3 numbers. All right, so I'm not gonna take the 1,000 number because that's too goofy, and chat will just vote for the goofiest one. 5, 20, and we're not converting it to euros. It's just gonna be dollars because I cannot be fucked. All right, chat.
So
How much do you think it
25,
should cost?
10,
It's 5,
100.
20, and 100. I didn't take the 1,000 because it was too ridiculous. So I took the 100, what he put there instead. And that'll determine how much it needs to be to switch it. This isn't for a donor war, by the way. This is an absolute switch. Come on, 100. Oh my god, that's what you wrote there. You said, well, okay, then 100 minimum. Yeah, I put it in there. Why are you saying come on? Don't come on me. Fucking.
He said, come on, 100 kids. He said, yes, 100.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought he was like upset with me for some reason. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? 5-hole schmickaroony, says Bonald McDonald. The 5er is actually in the lead. The 100 is in
Really?
second place, and the other 2 did not see a lot of support or interest. It's just this is
I like how he's just demeaning you.
dumb kids. Oh my god, they're tied.
No, they're not.
The race. I mean, they're voting fast. Okay, like as I said that they fucking did a vote.
Mm-hmm.
All right, chat. How many votes do we have left in you? Come on, chat. Use your little fins. Slap your little phones. Oh my gosh, I missed one question, Cass. Come on, cut me some slack. Now go ahead and state your question again, you little mongo. You big baby. I enjoy the good conversations, but I guess I will poke and bother Kibbs till I get my answer once I'm done driving. Oh my god, why couldn't you just asked it there? Now I have to scroll up and figure out where the fuck this was asked. It's probably when I was in the middle of talking. Alright, somebody find his question. Help me, chat. Kibbs, while I'm stuck in traffic, there we go. What are your thoughts on open world RPGs, where the player makes the story instead of being told a story they influence? It's okay. It depends. I mean, the issue is that the open world story has to have some sort of
I like how
crafted story.
chat thinks I'm going to pay $100 just to play fucking Ghosts.
You know, this doesn't mean he has to pay anything, chat. This is just how much does chat think?
Well, they've settled on $100, so
It's only 25 votes. It could shift very quickly.
I'm not doing that.
Kids, while I'm stuck in traffic. Okay, what? Oh, hold on. I'm getting back to the question. What are your thoughts on open world RPGs where the player makes the story instead of being told the player story inputs? I mean, they're different games, I guess. I will always think that linear story games are better than open world story games. Open world story games, usually what it really is a linear story game scattered across an empty map. That's what it is in most games. That's what it is in Witcher 3. That's what it is in Skyrim. And the reason why is while they try to do what we call emergent storytelling things like Radiant quests and stuff like this, is that it normally turns into randomly generated encounters that become annoying to get. This was actually a trend in linear story games like Fallout 1, where it died really quickly, where you had to basically have incrementally small chances of getting a certain story or event to pop. Where it's like 1% chance in like 100, or like 0.5% out of like 100%. And so it's like incredibly rare to get this event, right? And what that really turned into was people being more annoyed that they had to just run back and forth in areas to get things to pop up. And what ended up happening is that people actually disliked it so much that they actually removed that altogether. I don't mind open world RPGs, but they don't really have stories, is the reality. What an open world RPG should be is not a story, but a sandbox. Where you just play in the sandbox and there's a ton of things to do in it, and there's different directions to go. Usually, whenever they do a narrative or a story in the sandbox, it just sort of feels tacked on, i.e., Fallout 4, Fallout 3, even New Vegas. New Vegas is one of my favorite of the but not Bethesda, but by Obsidian Entertainment. It far outclasses the others, but it benefits in very little from being an open world game, and because what it always boils down to is there's vast areas of nothingness, and then there's some bit of content. But the one strength it does have is what we call the exploration factor, where it's like exploring it, and that works the first couple times you play it, but for replayability, it has no value and merit. Because you already know what things are. Now, what can offset this is maybe a little bit of random procedural generation, so items might spawn there. That might offset that, but then it's usually boils down to there's items, that's kind of it, and you just sort of do it. You'll lose that first time wonder, but you always lose the first time wonder after playing something once. Right? It's like playing Nier the second time. It will never, its shocking twist thing will never work twice. Unless you just, hit your head really hard and forget everything. Let's see. Logging on to my 10 account, alternate accounts, says Bon. Cheating. I always knew it. Well, if she's cheating, she's doing a very bad job of it. I mean, I'm set. I answered your question. Now Cassivit can't be mad at me anymore.
Who's cheating?
Bon is.
On what?
The poll.
What? Oh.
She said she's
Well,
gonna log into her other accounts.
Well, I mean, is she logging in to make the 100 higher or what?
I'm not sure. She said she was gonna stack it. That's all we know. She's gonna stack it.
She's not doing very well. Yeah.
She's really messing that up.
Yeah. Just a swing and a miss.
Okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Okay, Cassivik says, I think I misspoke then. I mean, a sandbox RPG. You hold on.
Chat, is there
hold
anybody that wants to donate $100 to play Ghosts?
I doubt it. Jaffish, is anybody really, really desperate to fucking knife Gibbs in the back?
Do it, chat. Knife him in the back.
Because technically we'll be doing it in the relative future.
And you could do a hashtag like sour on that or something. I don't know.
There is no overheads. This is true. I think I misspoke then. I mean, a sandbox RPG, you can choose what you do, and there is various stories that can happen. Also known as, like, Kenshi, you can be a bounty hunter. Yeah, that's better. Yes. I think Kenshi, while I don't really appreciate how the game plays that much, I like Kenshi more than I like Bethesda RPGs. Because the fact that you can take it as a sandbox RPG means it's a true sandbox. And that's really cool. And that there are story stuff you can engage with, but the focus is on the sandbox experience. That's what I really, really like. That's why I think Kenshi's really cool. But that's because, it's like Bannerlord. Bannerlord is even that way too. Bannerlord is more of a sandbox RPG, and I like that a lot more. Though there are certain things that annoy me about it, I still like that more. Because if you're gonna have a big open world, then go all the way and have more sandbox stuff. Gibbs ignoring me? Bina, oh my god, I'm trying to read everyone's thing, you big fucking baby. Oh, is it done? Good job. Alright, chat, Bino's L is done. Time to show off Bino's beautiful work. You should have made it an MP4, because now I have to time it just right. Otherwise, we're going to accidentally, spoil the ending. Fucking hate you so much, Bino. I hope you die. Fucking dead Bino, dead Bino. Bino, I'm sorry, Bino's a joke. Bino, no! Then Bino just perishes, and I feel really bad about it. Really upsetty spaghetti about this one, chat bros. Alright, how do I time this? right about now. Oh, that didn't really work. Fuck.
I
And
can make it an MP4.
too late, Beano. But yes, this is the Beano GIF. Beano has made. This is Beano's L. Because everybody fucking told him that the electric shower thing is dumb. The electric
Wait.
shower head.
Did he electrocute himself yet?
Yeah, do you see it? No, look at this ray.
Yeah, I see that. But did he actually electrocute himself with his shower yet?
God willing, he has, and he's just not telling us. But yeah, that's Beano. Very well done, Beano. Beano's L is beautiful. I think that if ever chat funds webcomic things, these animated comic ideas are actually really good. At least the Chatfish idea is great. Just take it in, chat. Take in the artistic beauty of Beano getting his comeuppance.
Yeah, I would have thought it would be the parrots.
This was specifically because in one stream where Bubbles showed up and Beano was on at the same time, Beano got into an argument with Bubbles, and Bubbles, because he doesn't let go when he bites, so to speak, Beano had to keep defending himself, but because how the argument went, Beano just kept looking increasingly bad in his defense, and so Bubbles kept doubling down, and so Beano kept looking even worse, and so chat's opinion went from being apathetic to entirely along Bubbles' perspective of that Beano was dumb and being electrocuted in the shower.
Yeah.
Come on, chat. That's funny. Don't lie. All right, chat. I'm disappointed in you because you guys did the obvious meme answer. I'm disappointed in you, chat. 5% or 33% of you chose a relatively realistic answer.
Yeah, I would have picked $20 to be honest. I would have paid $20 to do it.
Honestly, I just don't understand why they didn't choose the brighter answer. I mean, lower, cheaper is better.
But why would they do that?
Because they're Chatfish.
Well, they wouldn't be the ones paying for it, no, would they?
Yeah, but they could side. The thing is, what they could do is side with Bucky and then be like, Bucky, we helped you just one time. Favor for favor. Made it as low as possible. I'm just saying, chat. Now, because Bucky does want to play Ghosts, after we do a little bit of Dynasty Wars, we'll do a baby Ghost stream anyways. Just because, why
A
not?
baby ghost stream.
Yeah.
I like how I see Commissar Zard.
I do
logged
actually want
onto
to play it.
Shogun
It's
2.
actually fun. Wait, where Commissar Zars in this?
On Shogun 2.
Well, where'd he go? Where is he?
He popped up on the fucking Steam.
Oh, yeah, because we talked about it. Also, Commissar Czar, send me your Follow the Samurai mod list and your Shogun 2 mod list. I'm actually curious. I just want to
You know what?
browse
I have
it.
so many fucking games that I don't even play that I need to like delete off my hard drive.
Do you even need to? Don't you have like more hard drive space than I do?
I got like 2 terabytes, but like I only put games on this computer. Yeah, get from it.
I have to give you a reason to remove Starfield from it?
It'll give me a reason.
Okay, good,
It's-
because I'm like, I can give you several. I can give you several. You could put literally any other game on that space. Literally.
I'm
Insert-
assuming the highlighted ones are the ones I've downloaded. Uninstall.
He killed Taylor.
Space Marine 2.
Fucking- Peasant Thoughts is now throwing shade your way. Baby, a real man has an 80 terabyte NAS system. One of
I
those
could get
NASs.
one. I need to wait till I get paid to do that. Uninstalled Sodfield.
All right,
Let's
chat.
go.
It's time to schedule the Dynasty Warrior stream. Well, I don't know. I don't think we'll beat it today, but we'll definitely make incremental progress on it. I don't know why I typed in Dynasty Warriors into the search bar. That was retarded of me. That's retarded. Oh my god. What the fuck? Also, the Rogue Squadron 1 thumbnail is almost done. If anybody wants to buy into Rogue Squadron 3, that's going to enter production very soon. So, that's going to close up soon. Yeah. Also, Sally's going to eventually be doing the new Helldivers thumbnail as well in like a couple weeks' time. Oh, and to answer a question, I think, for Kasovic, I don't know if I did answer that. When it comes to Star Sector, when it will be streamed, as soon as the thumbnail is ready, we will stream it. The minute the thumbnail is ready. I think I said that, though. After saying it, I feel like I have. We're just making sure that chatfish who have been waiting longer get prioritized. Because some chatfish sort of slipped through the cracks back when that massive game release stuff came out. Because I told the artist to expedite art pieces for those things. But then they just sort of fell to the back of the list. And then things got put in front of them. Yeah, we're going to fix that. Hold on, my nose itches. Actually, we're going to be doing Anachronox as the first thing for Grumpy, because Grumpy's funded a couple of things. That actually looks kind of interesting. Actually, not just kind of interesting. It looks actually really interesting. I don't know if it's a game for me, though, but it looks cool. Never even heard about it until like a little bit ago. All right, let's see. There we go. Setting up stream number 2. Stream number 2 is now scheduled. And now we will raid into the second stream, chat. Can you believe it? Can you understand it? No? Then you'll be destroyed. Come on. Come on, YouTube. A little faster. I know you're a little leggy. That's okay. We all have leg spikes. There we go. Good, YouTube. Good. All right, chat. You didn't answer, and it's all good. I just like to poke about it since I enjoy Star Sector a lot. Well, I guess you're allowed. He's like, what? What do you mean allowed? Yep, you'd ask for permission. There we go. Perfect. All right, chat. We will see you in the next stream, which has been scheduled. It should raid over there. If it doesn't, well, just go over there. And thank you for your generous donations, and thank you for all the likes you left on the stream. I really appreciate it, chat. That helps the channel's metrics.